have a quorum. We will wait a few minutes, but it's approximately 6:02, and we have to start on time based on our charter. So the meeting is open. Rabbi, I know you have, if you want to come and pray for us who are here, and then we will take it from there. Thank you. Well, I think, hold on, Rabbi, because I think we would do the roll call. So hold a few minutes, Rabbi, and then we will, thank you, sir, a few minutes. Staff trying to see what's going on with our council.
Nice guy, but he came to speak to me and he said, listen, I would like to be involved. Do you know of a police department? I said, I'll ask mine. When I started, we had to go to school. It was a whole program on 25th. Oh, yeah, I was well, first of all, it was easy because I was already up on the beach. But no, they sent us to, we had to go up to the academy on 25th by the 9 weeks. And you had to go to 911. Oh, no, it was a whole big process. It's crazy. You had to learn not to take your badge out. Right? If you were a cop. We had a problem for a while with the people. They were pulling people over. That's crazy. People are interesting.
They're on it. Someone got it.
Who? What? Did I fucking someone's face? Who? Yeah, I asked. They said he wasn't coming. I specifically asked, and they said he wasn't. Don't worry, they're gonna. You're the Black Genesis? Yeah, but they told me he wasn't coming. I asked.
Rabbi's got it.
No. It's before he said he's not coming to the meeting. Very good that I get the wrong information. I got the bad.
You do the invocation.
Yes, they're giving it now. It's Rabbi Zane's car. He said he asked him. They said he wasn't coming. Back on campus. I know.
Make me the bad guy. Again, the car, I'm coming right down. See, now I parked in the wrong place again.
Good evening again. It's approximately 6:10, and we're going to start the meeting. We do have a quorum, Madam Clerk. Roll call, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, led by our Assistant Police Chief, Mr. Angel Rivera.
Mayor Desilme,
Here?
Vice Mayor Estimate Irvin, Councilman Galvin,
Here.
Councilwoman Timothy. Here. Councilman Charles. Mayor, you have a quorum to proceed.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. We're going to pledge and then invocation by our very own Rabbi Jory Lang.
You can rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I seem to always be apologizing for how I'm dressed. Harvest Church, which is a wonderful church in this community, asked if we could help deliver food. By the way, just a side note, a lot of the food banks in our community are really in need of food. So if you could give to your churches, and so there's such a demand, and we're really short of food in the community. Okay, we asked God to invoke his blessing. Today was a horrible day with a shooting at another school. No matter what goes on tonight with money and what to do and how to do, nothing comes close to the loss of life, loss of a child. People's health, people's well-being has to be the center of our concern. Everything else could be worked out, resolved through dialogue. We pray that everyone's health should be good, that their families should be safe, and that God willing, and I don't know how these families will be able to survive this horrible tragedy. The world seems to be going crazy, and we just pray for peace and understanding and some semblance of normalcy. We ask God for his blessing, and we say amen.
Amen. Thank you, Rabbi.
Mayor, as of 6:12 p.m., Councilman Charles is present.
Thank you. Okay, and now we have a couple of items to review. As you all know, this is the most important single thing that we could do as elected official, which we must legally, is to vote and pass hi, Vice Mayor, how are you?
Mayor, as of 6:13 PM, Vice Mayor Estemayor Irvin is present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. As we pass a balanced budget, and this year is no different, so this is the first reading, and the next reading will be in 2 weeks, where we will finalize the budget for our October 1st fiscal year, which starts the new year for us. First item is the proposed resolution for the millage rate, and I think we are remaining in the same, but Madam Clerk, go ahead and read it.
Tab A, a proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, adopting a tentative millage rate of 7.4000 mils for fiscal year 2024-25, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab A.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. Yes, presentation? Any?
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council, residents, colleagues. My name is Roy Brown, your Budget Manager for the City of North Miami. And if you're ready, I can get started with the presentation.
Yes, sir. Are we, well, in terms of the millage rate, so do you have a presentation for that, or do you just want us to?
It's inclusive of the entire presentation. It is one of the first slide.
Yeah, can we just the budget, and then we'll, I'm sorry, just the millage rate, so we set, and then we could go ahead and take it from there.
Okay, well, good evening. We are here to propose a millage of 7.4000 mils. And I apologize. The total taxable value presented in the DR 420 was $5.8 billion. Once applied, the 7.4000 mils, the ad valorem tax is at 100%, yields $43,208,452. And once we apply the 95% to that, that is $41,048,029. To the right, you see the rollback rate that's there. Using the same total taxable value of $5.8 billion and applying the 6.8358 mils for the rollback, the total ad valorem taxes at 100% yields $39.9 Once we apply the 95% to that, that is $37,918,394.
Thank you so much. Council members, discussion?
I just have one question. I know last year, where were we? We're at 7.5 or 7.55?
No, we're at 7.4, and we've been at 7. If adopted this year, that would be the third year at 7.4.
No,
Wait
it
a
was
minute.
1 year.
No,
No,
yeah,
last
we
year we
went-
reduced it. It was at 7.5.
Yeah, a little bit.
It was
We went
like,
down, yes.
no,
It wasn't
last
much.
year, last year we did reduce it. Was it last year or the year before?
No.
It was the year
seven-
before.
right.
It was
It was
7.4?
7.4 last year.
So what did we do?
It was when Benjamin was here. Remember,
Yeah,
he
we were
reduced
doing
it?
the-
Right.
Last year.
It's
Yeah.
showing here, is it not? Okay.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you, oh, they can't zoom
So
in?
I think we put it down like a point.
Oh, yeah, it was like a- yeah.
It's something, it
Well,
probably
that,
was,
according to that, that's 2022, so that's only 2 years ago.
Do we have that presentation?
So
Oh,
fiscal year
it could have been
2023
2
was the first year it was lowered
You
to
know?
7.4.
So,
Which year?
right, 2022.
23.
that makes sense.
So 2022, according to that,
It went
was
down.
7.5,
Okay, that's what it
and
is.
it was 7.5 for 5 years,
Yeah, I remember it was 7.5 for a while.
Okay.
And then it went down.
To
It was like-
7.5.
down to
Okay.
7.5. So
Okay.
this year's budget would be the third consecutive budget that we
We
brought
kept
it,
it,
Okay.
we
at
kept it down
7.4.
at
Okay.
7.4.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, that's, okay, I think we're all on the same page.
I just-
Thank you so much. Move for approval?
No, I have a
Second.
quick question. So, sir, in this budget, did you guys consider lowering the millage rate?
That's what we're talking about now, right here. right now.
It is built on 7.4. We do have scenarios prepared, different scenarios prepared.
Okay, can I, in the next 2 weeks, can I see those, can I get a chance to, would I get a chance to see those scenarios and see if by any chance we can, it is something that if my colleagues will go, that will take that route, is something that we can entertain?
Of course, I can make sure that's prepared.
Yeah, but Roy, we cannot do it in 2 weeks because, so whatever that we need to do, Councilman, we're gonna be here a long night. It has to be now because they will need to know to have a balanced budget. So if we're gonna put it up or down, because I think from what we learned in 2 years ago, the little point that we did reduce it, it was a matter of police getting laid off. You know, it was just a big deal for something that we thought that was just a little bit. So to help out administration, I don't think you guys, it's the second time. So if you're gonna propose something, maybe, do you have the different scenarios?
We would take some, we would have to take some time, maybe 30 minutes to, make sure
Yeah.
the formatting, everything's correct, but
So do you have something you would wanna propose that we, because right now, I don't,
It is something that I would like to entertain. As a matter of fact, Mayor, I think you were not there when we had that budget meeting.
that is correct.
That was something that I pointed out, and I asked staff to work on it, to just give me a report so that we'll take a look at it. It is something that I would
Okay.
like to entertain.
Okay, so, but we will need to vote on it and kind of move on, because we would not want to be in trouble with administration. Yes, sir.
I don't think we have to vote on the millage rate right now. We can hear all the presentations and come back to voting on whatever we want to vote on at the end.
Well, yes,
Statute.
but if, let's just say he wanted. to-
Right, no, if he wants to drop it to 7.3,
Yeah, that's a problem.
he might feel that way right now, but will he feel that way at the end of all the presentations, et cetera, and discussion? Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But procedurally, if we bring it down to 7.3 right now.
We're in trouble. We can't
Then
do
we
that.
have to figure out what we're gonna do, and if we wanted to reconsider, we'd have to have more votes to.
Absolutely, to-
Rescind what we
to
do right
rescind-
now to come back up to 7.4.
And,
So,
yes, sir. No, you're right.
no, I was just gonna say, because we haven't heard any of the presentations from staff,
Yeah,
we
but
hear the presentations
the
and
only
then-
thing is that they built the budget on the 7.4.
Right.
So if he's thinking something less, unless they know that, then it's kind of like, it's irrelevant, whatever they talking about. So we need to figure out if
May I?
we, yeah, yes, sir.
May I?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
mean, I understand what both of you are saying, but in the past, as a matter of fact, that particular budget that you asked about, staff had one millage rate that we voted on, and then the next hearing, the former mayor asked to change it, and we had to figure it out. So
Well,
I think it
not-
should be,
Not really, if we
Yes,
recall
it
what
was.
happened that year.
right, but it still can be done. What I'm saying is, I'm not suggesting that it's done today or not, but I'm just saying that I think the council person
Listen.
should have
What I'm saying,
does
I-
have the right to.
and I think
either-
everyone, no, we're not talking about right. I was trying to help out the administration. If you want to go down 7.0, I'm ready for that. If we want 7.3, that's not what I'm saying. I said we got to be very strategic and be pragmatic in terms of what we're doing. We know just taking half of a point is somebody's, they got to go back and balance the budget. I'm not opposed to whatever that he's saying. I'm just saying, for us to be proactive and kind of do this in a way, we got to figure out how much money it would be because that's cutting. So we got to know where it's cut, things like that in that nature. But I'm all for it. I do not have any, as a matter of fact, I would sit back and I don't mind that.
I think to Councilman Galvin's point, if we can continue on with the budget presentation, and we'll see if, the budget allows for additional
Correct.
cut. I know we can lower it at the next one, but if we lower it now, you can't go back up or can't go
Yes,
back in the
yeah.
next meeting. Once it's set, it's set. So maybe we proceed with the presentation.
Yes, then let's move on to.
That would work.
Yes,
I know
Yeah,
we had
that
a
would work.
motion and a second on tab A, but I don't know if you want to withdraw your motion.
So
Mayor.
do we, Mr. Attorney, do we wait to vote on the millage rate? Can we do that until after?
Based on your discussion, I think you all just said you're going to listen to presentation.
And then we'll
afterwards.
vote on everything together.
So was there a motion to second?
There was, I need to
May I
withdraw my
the
motion.
Wait,
So
can I, let me
You're
just
withdrawing
clarify.
your motion, Mayor?
Yes, for the.
All right,
for
thank
the
you.
proposed.
Right, so let me just clarify again. So if we can always go, if we vote for 7.4, we could always go down and not up. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
okay if we vote today, and then if next time around, we just want to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
so I just
fine.
want to make sure that
Yes,
everybody
yes,
understood
yes.
that.
Thank you. Tab B?
Tab B, a proposed first reading ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, adopting and approving the budget of the city of North Miami for the fiscal year commencing October 1, 2024, and ending September 30, 2025. Authorizing the amount to be raised by taxation for the operation of the city for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Authorizing the expenditure of funds established by the budget. Authorizing a return on investment transfer from the water and sewer utility fund to the general fund. Authorizing the interim city manager to implement budget amendments, revenue and/or expenditure to appropriate or unappropriate funds as required during the fiscal year, and to amend the prior fiscal year budget to facilitate the year-end closing process, providing for repeal, severability, and an effective date.
Thank you so
An ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of
Wait,
North
wait, Madam
Miami,
Clerk, are
Florida.
you reading both?
Yes.
Okay.
An ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, adopting and approving the budget of the city of North Miami for fiscal year commencing October 1, 2024, and ending September 30, 2025, authorizing the amount to be raised by taxation for the operation of the city for the 2024-25 fiscal year. Authorizing the expenditure of funds established by the budget, authorizing a return on investment transfer from the water and sewer utility fund to the general fund. Authorizing the interim city manager to implement budget amendments, revenue and/or expenditure to appropriate or unappropriate funds as required during the fiscal year and to amend the prior fiscal year budget to facilitate the year-end closing process, providing for repeal, severability, and an effective date. Tab B.
Thank you. Colleagues, it's that time again. I don't know how we want to do this. I do have some questions, so would we want to do it department,
Are they doing the presentation first?
Yes, and then after that,
Yes.
we'll do. Go ahead, Roy.
Good evening, everyone. It is my honor to welcome everyone to this year's budget hearing. This is a process that is meant to inform everyone how the budget was built, to provide transparency, and to answer questions regarding the budget. This meeting will be led by our CFO and our budget manager, along with our department leaders who are present. Prior to engaging in that process, however, I do recognize that there has been a recent cyber incident, which is top of mind for many people in this community. On August 4th, the city of North Miami did experience a cyber incident that impacted our network systems. While the investigation with local and national law enforcement agencies is ongoing, we're currently unable to share specific details about the incident and will not be taking questions on that matter this evening. Administration would like to assure you that a swift action has been taken from the very beginning to mitigate the impact on our systems. At this point, the city has reopened and has almost been fully restored to being able to operate as it had before. At this time, we would like to present the budget moving forward. Mayor, members of City Council, and citizens of North Miami, we are pleased to submit the FY 24-25 operating and capital budget for the City of North Miami. This proposed budget is balanced at $215 million with a general fund budget of $89.9 million and a flat millage rate of 7.4000 mils. The FY 25 budget proposes the same level of service as this current year. However, we are working to bring the city service levels close to pre-pandemic levels. Although the budget has increased from the previous year, this is due to unavoidable increases in health care costs, pension and property insurance liabilities, and workers' compensation. Based on the collective bargaining negotiations, this proposed budget includes wage increases and adjustments to the cost of living for the employees. The budget prioritizes infrastructure investments, requiring an increase in water and sewer rates in accordance with the water rate study, and anticipates an increase in sanitation fees. It also includes other capital investments, including various other public works and park improvement projects. Throughout the current fiscal year, the city has continued to deliver critical services and execute several significant projects. The city continues to progress, both as a community and as a government, toward a future promising economic potential, fiscal sustainability, and wide-ranging development opportunities. This is the first proposed budget in over 5 years that includes $2.9 million in general fund reserves.
Yay.
The financial outlook is promising, but there is still work to be done to ensure fiscal stability for the city over the next 5 years. Fiscal soundness can be achieved with commitment from all. The following are a few initiatives that we're working on to improve the city's revenue. We've renegotiated the arrangement with the North Miami CRA for a percentage that is more favorable of the generated TIF in the CRA area. We have increased aggressive collection efforts on delinquent receivables, and we're increasing revenue diversification and applying for numerous grant opportunities. In the upcoming fiscal year, we will focus on the following objectives. We will implement the strategic planning process to assist the city in looking ahead and appropriately prioritizing initiatives based on community input. We will be engaging in the conversion of the enterprise resource planning, the ERP system, to Talamunis, which will allow for integrating our systems across departments, increasing efficiency and reducing redundancy. We will be improving and upgrading IT hardware and infrastructure to lead to a better cybersecurity and system performance. We've also been introducing 2 new departments, a communications department and economic development department, to improve operations by allowing divisions to work collaboratively. While the proposed budget addresses some critical needs, there are still needs that must be met and future needs that must be considered. We must keep these in mind as the budget is assessed and ultimately adopted. Some of the unmet needs include the PBA and IUPVA negotiations, enhancement of our landscaping level of service throughout the city for an additional $500,000, increasing staff pay to a minimum of $15 per hour to meet state living wage requirements, which will be an additional $500,000, and increasing the number of police officers to industry standards of 2.5 officers per 1,000 residents. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone who worked diligently to develop this budget, from the mayor and city council to the residents that have attended the budget town hall meetings, the Office of Management and Budget, department directors, and the administration. Thank you.
Thank you. And Roy?
Thank you. So we'll start off with some of the budget town hall, we'll start off with some of the administration priorities. We'll follow that up with a millage rate discussion. We'll talk about ad valorem revenue. We'll go through some of the 24-25 budget assumptions. We'll go over the proposed revenues and expenditures, the general fund summary, the enterprise fund water and sewer, enterprise fund stormwater. We'll go through some proposed capital projects, some water sewer rates, and lastly, we'll just do an overall review of the adopted budget. So some of the priorities that we've heard throughout the budget process include financial stability, economic development, affordable housing, resiliency programming, water plant improvements, park renovations, the 5-year strategic plan, downtown redevelopment, Northwest 7th Avenue redevelopment, centennial activities, smart city initiatives, and citywide community events. This slide shows the millage rate over a 10-year period. As you can see in fiscal year 2016, that was the highest at 7.9340 mils. And then we had 6 years at 7.5000. And the last 2 years has been 7.4000, and we are proposing 7.4000 tonight and moving forward. To the right, you have a breakdown percentage-wise of what the city collects on the dollar. The city of North Miami collects 33.25%, and the remaining entities collect the rest. As discussed a few minutes ago, the total taxable value presented in the DR 420 is $5.8 billion. Once we apply the 7.4000 millage rate, it yields $43,208,452. Once applied the 95% by law that we can budget for, it brings back $41,048,029. The rollback rate is 6.8358, and that will generate $37,918,394 once applied the 7.4000 mils and the 95%. This slide here shows the ad valorem compared to the CRA TIF refund and reimbursement. So the operating tax levy for fiscal year 25 is the $41 million mentioned on the slide above, $41,048,029. There is a City of North Miami TIF payment to the CRA in the amount of $14,124,138, and we do get a refund from the CRA for a total of $3.6 million. The total ad valorem taxes budgeted for fiscal year 24-25 is $28.5 million, or $28,558,628.
Just on that that slide. So that's the amount that the city is getting from the CRA from the renegotiated agreement?
The 3.6 million, yes.
Okay, so that's what we're proposed to get this year. What did we get last year? Because that number was never shared with council. Well, it wasn't shared with me. I don't know if it was shared with the council.
Once we made the amendment, once the money came in the middle of the year, it was 3.4, about 3.5 million.
3.5 million?
In total, yes.
Additional after?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
This slide shows your budget assumptions, which the basis of the budget is built on. The first is the millage rate of 7.4000, which helps us fund a lot of the increases, and most importantly, it helps us fund the general fund reserve. We have the same level of service as the previous year with increases throughout. We have 3% merit and 3% COLA for IUPA, the unclassified and non-bargaining employees, and 5% merit and 4% COLAs for PBA employees. That's for the police officers. There are increases to employee health insurance, general liability, and property insurance for 10, 15, and 20% respectively. There is 2.9 million budgeted for the general fund reserve. There are no full-time personnel reductions. In the budget, you will see numbers for the ERP and CRM implementation, along with money for city and community events. There are major improvements to the city's IT infrastructure, which will improve networks and securities. And lastly, the water and sewer fees. As mentioned in the city manager's letter, the total proposed budget is $214,181,931. And you will see that the general fund is at $89,897,690, or 42%. And all the other funds come in at $124,284,241, or 58%. And if you navigate to the right, the smaller pie chart there's a breakdown of the revenues for the general fund. We have ad valorem at 32%, or 28.5 million. Sales and use tax is slightly over 750,000, and that represents 1%. We have charges for services at 8.2 million. That is 9%. We have fines and forfeitures, slightly above 780,000. That is also 1%. Intergovernmental revenue, 10.5 million. That is 12%. Miscellaneous revenues, 19.2 million, and that is 21%. And lastly, we have non-revenues at 21.7 million, or 24%. This slide shows your total proposed expenditure citywide. You can see the general fund is coming in at 42%, or 89.8 million. You have housing funds, which include CDBG, NSP, and SHIP. That is 1.4 million. Debt service, which is our pension obligation bond, is 1.7 million. We have transportation, 6 million. Special revenue funds, about 40.6 million. We have enterprise funds, which include water and sewer, stormwater, and water fire flow, at 64.6 million. Internal service funds, which include fleet and risk management, 9.6 million, for a total of $214,181,931. This slide is your general fund summary, which shows your department breakdown. And we have the prior year budget for 2024 of what was adopted, along with what we are proposing in 24-25. Mayor and council is at 2.6 million. City manager, 2.4 million. City clerk's office is 906,000. Finance is about 4.5 million. City attorney's office is 1.6 million. Personnel, 939,000. IT, 3.9 million. Police, 36 million. 36.7 million. Land use services, formerly known as CP&D, that's 2.1 million. Public Works, that's 3.8 million. As you can see, the Office of Management and Budget, we have 0. That is now a part of finance. Parks and Recreation, 10.1 million. Non-departmental, 5.1 million. MOCA, 1.8 million. Neighborhood Services, 6.5 million. The library is at $1.3 million. Purchasing, $759,000. Housing and Social Services, $2 million. CIB has dissolved since July 1st. Economic Development, $965,000, and Communications, $1.1 million, for a total of $89,897,690. The breakdown by category is as follows. Personnel services is about 61%. Operating budget is at 23%. Internal services, 6%. Capital, 2%. Grants and aids, 3%. And reserves, 5%. This is a breakdown of your transportation funds, which include half-cent and street resurfacing. We have personnel for $572,000 or 10%, operating at $1.9 million or 32%, internal services $187,000 or 3%, and capital $3.3 million or 55%. Internal services, a breakdown of risk management and fleet management. Personnel services, $1.6 million or 17%. Excuse me. Operating, $3.9 million or 41%. Internal services, slightly over $1 million or 11%. And reserves for $2.9 million or 31%. Water and sewer. Water and sewer is as follows: $6.6 million for personnel services, or 11%. Operating services, $6.5 million, also 11%. Internal services, $27.8 million, 48%. Capital, $8.9 million, or 15%. And lastly, reserve, $7.9 million, or 14%. What you don't see there is debt services for 1%. This slide shows the water and sewer scheduled increases from 2022 to 2027. As you can see, the combined increases year to year average at about 8.5%, 8.4% for water, and 8.6% for sewer. And this is this is an increase over a 6-year period. Stormwater. Stormwater comes in at $3.3 million. Personnel services, $904,000 or 27%. Internal services, $763,000 or 23%. We have operating services at $1.5 million or 47%. And lastly, reserves at $106,000 or 3%. Lastly, we have special revenue funds. This includes the CRA, pension obligation bond, miscellaneous grants. It's a total of $30,583,112. Personnel services is 3%. Operating services is 46%. Capital is at 6% or $1.7 million. Debt service is at 6%. And grant services are at 40%, my apologies. Okay, this last slide here shows you a list of the capital projects, and it's broken down by fund. We have the IT network and security improvements, $1 million. Police air conditioning chillers, $120,000. Police station roof covering, $130,000. And that includes, those are all your general fund projects. We have traffic calming devices, $200,000. Sidewalks and right-of-way improvements, $435,000. The pedestrian bridge improvements, $2.4 million. And street resurfacing for $270,000. And those 4 projects are for transportation. And lastly, we have the remaining 4 water and sewer projects. The Utility Operating Center, which you may know as the UOC, roof replacement, $80,000. Lift station rehab, $575,000. Water main improvements, $1 million. And sanitary sewer rehabilitation, gravity improvements for $6.6 million. The total is $12.9 million, and to the right, you see a breakdown. 10% of these projects, or $1.2 million, is for the general fund. 26%, or $3.6 million of this is catered to transportation, and the remaining $8.3 million, or 64%, is for water and sewer. With that being said, after going through the priorities, the different funds, I'm happy to announce that we do have a balanced budget. For fiscal year 2025, we are proposing $214,181,931. And just want to thank everyone for their time, for coming here for this purpose, and I look forward to the next few minutes answering whatever questions.
Can you put that back up, the last slide, please? Thank you. So last year was 208?
Yes, that's $208,986,447. That's less than a 3% increase.
And bulk of the increase from the memo and what was stated from the manager is the COLA and pension and all the cost of living, et cetera, et cetera?
Yes, yes.
And so the department change that we have, it wasn't a big, I guess, add-on, because it's kind of transferring from one budget
Costs
into
more than
the other?
save.
That is
Yeah,
correct.
it costs more, right?
That's
Yeah.
what it looks like.
Well, yeah, it did cost more. Okay, all righty then, okay. Thank you, Roy.
You're welcome.
So, guys, I mean, we could start with, department, and then we all kind of take it, and then we could take it from there. You good with that, Vice Mayor? Good, okay? All right, so, but, mayor and council. So the increase there is, like $500,000, and I think that's, that the position that was budgeted half of the year, there's some, costs that was not budget, well, that was not stated in the budget, but is time on added to our budget? Is that, the reasons why it's 500,000 plus a little bit more, right? The mayor and council. Sure, no problem. And to be specific, I just went by page 1.
Is that the deputy chief of staff position that was added?
Yeah, you see this, but it's $500,000, so I'm like, is there others? And it's just approximately 500 from last year to this year.
So looking at the budget, the mayor and council budget is at 2.6 million.
Your mic.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I think.
Lean into it.
Lean to, yeah.
All right, so
There you
2.6.
go. Yes. Roy, actually, I was looking at page 1, but in reality, on page 2, at the top, it's only a $200-something thousand difference, right? Correct. Okay, then that's fine. Okay, that kind of made sense. Okay,
And that dollar amount more so is the one employee that was added?
Correct, that's the one employee, the deputy chief of staff.
okay, and then this is, okay, and then we got a part-time, and that's for the aides. The council, the 102.
Yes, so 102, those are the part-timers in
Got it.
level 1.
Okay.
Are you on,
Sure.
what page are you on?
Yeah, I'm on page
3.
3, you're right.
Page 3, yes, that's for the aides.
Okay, so in page 3, the planting of trees, and I got an email, it's funny, from former Councilwoman Keys. Was this the 311? Because at some point, we used to have that, this is not what this is, right? So is this general for our office, the 20,000? Line item 311?
Yeah, so this was initially budgeted last year, and we thought that the request would come up again.
Got it.
So we made sure that we put that there again this year for fiscal year '25.
Okay.
But no one, did anyone, like, I wasn't even aware that that was there because
I
I
didn't
think
know either.
in
That's what I was
previous years,
asking.
it was kind of jumbled up together with
With the
keys to the city,
discretionary.
because I have my old budget book here from last year. So it was it was bundled up with keys to the city, engraved place, like that was one whole line item. So now, I guess, I don't know if you guys like broke it apart and you just kind of left that one by itself, but that 20,000 was in its own little category with 312. I think that's how we missed it.
Looking at, I don't have the details from last year, but I do notice
I have-
that last year, the total was $20,000.
No, we know, but I don't think none of us knew.
We
the
know, yeah,
money
we
was
didn't, we didn't know it was there because
Yeah.
it was bundled up with the special departmental supplies.
Yes.
So it was, I guess it was just, I know you guys were cleaning up titles. It's good to look at previous years just to see what changed and so forth,
Yep,
so.
that's what I have two books.
Yeah, my book is right
Yep, the first one, and last year, and as a matter of fact, for last year, for page 3, the detail of this, I'm looking at okay, in our book. Okay. It's not as, the detail is not, maybe page, yeah, it's not here. Okay. All right, city manager, page, very good, page, this is page 14, page 10.
Are you going department by department with everyone, or?
Yeah, well, for all of us,
Okay.
I would assume, like
Yeah.
you was asking the question, yeah, to make it quicker.
I would like to put on the record, CFO Angela Reyes through the city manager, that last year there was an actual ask and we did a budget amendment for the planting of the trees, which remained in the budget for the mayor and council as an initiative.
So it was
Okay,
asked of who?
So,
Yes, it was on the second change memo.
okay, so.
For the budget
did we
hearing.
use that?
From
This
Yes,
year?
we did use that this year,
For what? For
for,
tree?
for tree planting, yes.
One of us?
One of you.
Oh, okay, well, that's what we want to know.
Yes.
We don't know.
Yes, it was
Okay.
used this year,
No,
and
no, that's fine. I
Okay.
just, we just, like, she didn't know, I didn't know
I didn't
either.
know.
Okay.
for the record, yes.
Okay, all righty. City manager, so I think this is the breakdown version of what I'm looking at. So your O2, Division O2, 405, are we there? This is, so I'm assuming, but I wanted you to clarify for me, is it because communication is out of that? Because the numbers are a little bit,
Yes, the main reason for the decrease in the city manager's office is due to communications being a standalone department this year. There was a reduction of, I believe, 4 employees with that move.
okay.
Mr. Mayor, I was going to ask that question. This might be one of the questions I was going to ask. I saw that there's $560,000 for public relations salaries. And that jumped out at me. That's been moved out of the city manager's
office into
That's
its
why
new
I'm seeing
department.
it, okay. 'Cause
Yes.
Okay, that answers my question. How many people does that represent?
1 second.
What page? It's 3, right?
It was page 285.
Page 285, now it's page.
It's a total of 7 positions that make up the communications department. However, some of those positions last year were in IT, along with the city manager's office.
Gotcha.
Okay.
It just, that whole line item,
So
Jumped
there
out
has
at
been some restructuring with moving the positions and a new department into
Okay.
that, moving the positions into that department, which created the total of 7 employees for
7 employees,
communications.
$561,000
Yes.
salaries, blah, blah, blah.
And
Okay.
that's not extra from this fiscal year. That's
Gotcha.
just a moving into one department.
It totally makes sense when I hear it like that. Like I said, that whole department being new jumped out at me as, what is this? Like, were we hiring
Correct. I
new people?
understand.
We're not hiring new people, we're just moving where they were to where they'll now be classified. And it
Yeah.
makes sense,
That's the second time they actually moved it. It was actually moved before.
was it?
Yeah, it was moved under Larry, under his administration, then they moved it back, and then they moved it back, and
okay.
so this is the second time this has been a change.
Moved it out,
Mhm.
okay, thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions for city manager's office? So it's
I
just the
just-
salary. So with the 102, part-time, what is that? Madam Manager? That's page 13?
Page 13. That's for part-time work.
No, I know, but you have, there's part-time in the manager's office?
Position.
Or are we adding, or what is that?
So there was through the city manager, there was a part-time position, actually two in last fiscal year's budget for the city manager's office, which housed additional services that landed there for, it was if I remember correctly, it was for
I'm looking at
sponsorships and
Oh,
special
okay.
events. And that's left there so that when those things come up, they have the additional help. This year, it was one person that was budgeted extra.
Okay. So last year, what it was?
It was 56,504 last year.
Last year
Yeah,
was the same amount.
It's the
Okay.
same amount as last year, yes.
Which page are you, because you know what?
I have both books.
What, no, what the old book, what page is that
The
on?
old book is on page 13, it's the same.
Oh, because this one is on page, okay, this one started, I think this was the, once they finished doing the whole
Oh, you're looking at the
adopted.
adopted,
The
I'm looking
adopted
at the
one,
proposed,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the real numbers. Okay, so that, okay, I got it. I thought that's with Francisco, right? Is he under you guys, or that, is he separate?
You will see that position in economic development as the grants
Okay.
administrator. That
Okay.
was also in city manager's office last year and was transferred out.
Okay, so the part-time that was there last year, I'm assuming it was with that office?
Correct.
Okay, so now it's coming back to the city manager's office?
There was two in there last year.
I see.
One of them went with government, with the
Got it.
economic development.
Okay,
One of them
and then
stayed
this
in the
is-
city manager's office.
Okay, thank you.
I
Okay.
saw that the emergency manager was added this year. Who is that the police officer, or is that a new position?
That's a new position that we're seeking to fund beginning October 1st.
That is a new position.
So,
So there's nobody in that position right now?
Not as a full-time position right
no,
now.
Oh,
Not as a full-time position right now. That position is currently being done by Sergeant Jean-Baptiste. And so we're seeking to make that a full-time position that will be sat in the manager's office.
question about that, would that be a sworn officer, or would that be something separate from that?
At this time, we are gonna put the ad out for the person. So if a sworn officer wants to apply, that could be, but it's not gonna be a requirement for the position.
Okay.
I have a question. How many full-time positions or how many positions were added?
To it.
In total, the
Or-
whole budget?
Yeah.
No, how many new positions?
New positions, there are 18 positions added.
18 new positions.
18 new positions?
18 new
Do
positions?
we have them?
Yeah, could you identify with those 18 positions, please?
Yes,
Because that was I was gonna ask that, thank you, Vice Mayor, I was gonna ask it later. We usually have a change, oh, that's the next meeting, okay.
Vice Mayor, we're gonna send you that report. He's gonna pull it out and you can
Well,
have
we
the
need to
list
know
of
it.
them.
Yeah, we all
Or you're
trying to
gonna, he's
figure
gonna
out.
call it out. He's gonna look for it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So 18 new positions, so what's the total of that new, of that amount, do we know? Or we could, okay. So we-
So would you like me to?
Yes, sir, please.
So we have the Deputy Chief of Staff, the Emergency Management Manager, Budget Analyst, Utility Collections Coordinator, a City Planner, an Arborist, Senior Zoning Tech, a
I'm
Receptionist.
sorry, you said senior what?
Senior Zoning
Zoning tech.
Technician,
The zoning.
a Receptionist, a Recreation.
Receptionist for what
where?
department?
Public Works.
Okay,
We have the Recreation Coordinator, Parks Maintenance Mechanic, 2 maintenance mechanics in Parks. We have the Executive Assistant to the NSD Director. We have the Assistant Purchasing Director. We have the P-Card Administrator.
you said purchase, wait, go back. Wait. You said purchasing director.
Assistant Director.
Assistant director.
You know, Alberto's getting ready to retire
Yeah,
soon.
we didn't, Alberto didn't have somebody?
No.
He used
Oh,
to.
okay.
We have a Business Development Coordinator, and we have 2 housing positions.
What are the two houses?
Housing Services Administrative Specialist and Housing and Social Services Coordinator.
But these are not technically new positions. Some of these were budgeted in the past. You're just fulfilling them or putting them there, because some of them I've heard before.
Well, new in the sense of they were not funded
From
last year.
last
Oh, they
year,
were not funded.
and they are funded. But how
Fully
much,
funded,
what's the
okay.
total of those, do we know?
That number, because
You-
of the
you-
lack of
I got
details,
you.
I would have to
You
get
have
back to
go-
you.
Okay.
Can,
Go ahead,
can you please share that information with us?
Yes, we
I would
will,
like-
we will
I would
share
like
that
to,
with all
sit
of
in.
you.
And while I'm on the mic, Mayor, if I may,
Yes, sir.
just want to make it clear that I am not gonna have too many detailed questions tonight, due to the fact that I received my book fairly late. It was yesterday. I got a hold of it. Did not get a chance to go over everything that we have in there. I just have a few general questions in that regard. So, and in our next budget meeting, I'll be more detail oriented. Quickly on the subject of our property values, and I understand that we have a slight increase, like about 11% on our property values. How much money is that?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
From my understanding, you can just correct me if I'm wrong, our property values went up to about 11%. Is that right?
Yes.
So my question is that, what is the dollar amount equal to that 11%?
It's about 5.8 billion compared to last year's 5.2. I don't have the exact 10-digit number right now, but I can be sure to get that to you, maybe even before the end of tonight.
Okay, then. Now quickly, as we're talking about additional positions, in terms of services, what additional services that our city is getting based on that dollar amount?
So for looking at the Office of Land Use Services, right, we have the city planner, we have the arborist, and we also have the senior zoning tech. At least these three positions help us address the issues of trees that we have within the city. We have 14,000 trees. We're able to cater to 1,400 of them every year. So with these three additional positions, we're able to have a wider scope of what we can target, and that's just for trees. For the senior city manager's office, where we have the emergency management staff, obviously we have an issue with flooding and different natural disasters that happen here in Miami. Having someone in place to get ahead of these things, that will improve the services not only for us but for the entire city. And that's just an example of 3 or 4 positions. I'd be more than happy to go through all of them with you if you will.
But in terms of service to the city?
We will get that, we will write that question down and get back to you with each position and how it adds to the service of the city. I do want to give you the difference between the last year's taxes and this year's, about $2.5 million increase.
Thank you. Now, quickly, in this budget, how does it address our infrastructure? And more specifically,
we'll
the
get-
water
yeah.
plant and everything.
Yeah, we're gonna get
So,
to it.
yeah.
We got a long way.
Councilman, while you are on that, well, he's asking about infrastructure. I was waiting to ask specifically for me. If I don't know if Public Works can come and identify where is it in our budget and exactly
We're gonna go through
the drainage, what are the dollars that are there?
Yes.
In particular for Third Court.
Right,
So do we want to go in order?
yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Do we have all the dollars? How much more do we need?
Hold on,
I-
Vice Mayor.
you know.
Yeah, we're gonna
So
go,
sorry.
we're gonna go through it.
I know, but
We'll
this
get,
is
yeah,
important.
we're gonna get to Public Works
They're
soon.
just prepping you up.
We're prepping you up on your questions. Oh, you the new director? Hi, I think, did we meet?
We might need to have everybody new come to the
mean,
mic and just introduce
We
themselves.
don't
The
know.
whole
Nice to
building
meet
is
you
new.
officially. Okay, city clerk, she got all the money in the world. We could move on.
So,
No, but could we get the infrastructure?
let-
I know
So
we're
wait, are we
going.
jumping?
no,
Go ahead, sir.
because what I'm saying is that, again, I am going to repeat it. I'm just not making excuses for everything that happened with our situation, that we didn't get a chance to get our hand, let me speak for myself, to get my hand early into the book. And no, I hate to say that because I just don't want to go into those lines and just seeing them tonight. It is not helping me. I don't think it is helping anybody in here. So that's why I just want to ask some general questions. And then when we come back in our second budget hearing, I'll have more time to go into detail because I just don't want to, be doing that. That's why I just want to ask my general questions, and then I'll sit back and listen to everybody. In our second budget hearing, I'll be more into the detail, if I may, Mr. Mayor.
And that makes sense. But I have a question. What happened to his book? Did we? Oh, so it wasn't that we did not. So at the same time, we all okay. It
Yeah.
has nothing to do with you guys.
And I would like to put on the record also that we do have time to go over this and adjust it
I
accordingly.
know. My
But I think
question
that,
was,
well,
what,
I think we need, Mayor, if I may, I think we need to, go through it, maybe ask some questions, because, even for myself, I know we all are dealing with this cyber incident. This is our first meeting that we're getting back. So a lot has happened in the past few weeks. So,
Yes.
Staff is getting a pass, because normally, like, I would have tabs after tabs and questions after questions, but because I understand that we had to go back to 1926 with paper and pencil these past couple of days because of this incident, we're being sensitive to that,
Yes.
to administration right now. But I do think, even after this meeting, I'll be meeting with you all to bring up some of my concerns. I won't bring them up tonight, because this is not, an ordinary, how we would ordinarily do things.
No, it's
But
not.
because we are, we're dealing with this crisis as we're dealing with right now, but, I do applaud you all for still moving forward, but just know,
let
we'll be
me
meeting after.
let me ask this,
Appreciate
because
that. Thank
instead
you.
of
I
really
appreciate it.
taking most, the time. So it seems to me that Councilwoman Timothy and as well as Councilman Charles, and I think it would benefit myself also, if we could kind of, maybe don't go too deep, because it's my understanding they need more time.
No,
I
I'm
think
ready
we
to
got
go
this-
deep, but
Okay, okay, okay.
No,
you're
I
right.
mean-
Ready. But I'm just saying, I know
So
that,
you'll help us out next time? I
Right,
mean,
it's
either-
understandable why
Right.
they don't
Yes,
have
we-
immediate
yes.
recall of stuff.
We got
because you're
you
dealing
guys
with
don't have
something.
access
Okay.
to
We
it.
don't have access to
Got
Eden
it.
or the M drive.
Exactly, so-
Yeah.
At the
No, I
moment.
hear
We
you.
good.
But Eden is up now, right?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're still reconciling Eden now.
And to be clear, Eden is functional, however, there needed to be a reconciliation of the past 30 days since there was some, there was that time that was
Yeah,
lost. So it is a functional system in our city, however, we do need to not be using it so that the reconciliation can be entered all at one time. And then once that reconciliation is complete, then it will be available for general usage throughout the city.
Right, so I actually had a call half hour before tonight's meeting started from a Realtor who was concerned that they're not able to do business, because am I accurate when I told them that even though Eden is now back up, everything that was done on a slip of paper for the last 30 days has to be entered?
That is correct.
Okay. Coincidentally, I gave the right answer.
That is correct.
I surprised myself sometimes.
And we still have to close the year September 30th, so there's a lot to
A
happen.
lot to happen.
Yes,
We
within
get it.
this month.
Okay, well, we're moving right along. City clerk. I have no question. You good?
There's
Madam
one
Clerk?
question in City Clerk for me. I know when we moved the election day, we said that there would be
Yeah,
like
that was-
savings and so forth.
Yes,
So
I
I know
saw
it went
that.
from 125 to 175 for election costs.
And I said 341, right?
Yeah, 341.
That was my
So-
question.
Yeah, that was just my question. Why the significant jump?
Madam Clerk?
If we knew that, if we said that there was going to be a savings or assumed.
Well, first, I don't think I was the person who said that there would be a savings. And so I'm not sure why that was said, but in any case,
Hold
because
on.
we don't even have an estimate of what it would, what it
really
cost
costs.
us.
Okay.
So I can't provide information like that without actually getting a bill. So even if I were to ask for an estimated cost, they actually can't give me one because they have to wait until ballots are out and everything like that. So if they're printing, more for a runoff and things like that,
The cost can go.
Okay.
it can go up.
Understandable. Thank you.
No, I have a question. I don't know if I understand that. So if I call the Miami-Dade Election Department to saying that we are adding on, add-on election, when we did it separately, we ran it by ourselves, we were around that amount, correct? correct?
Yes.
So we know it's not gonna be the same, because I thought it was like $20-something thousand per election, maybe giving and take. So,
I mean, I can't determine that, again, because I'm not sure if we're going to have a runoff. We
Yeah,
would
but
probably be
even if
the
you
only
do-
ones doing the runoff.
okay.
I'm not sure how many staff that they're going to have. I don't know how much they're paying their staff this year. I don't know anything about what their COLA increase or their merit increases are. I don't have certain information, and they wouldn't really be able to give it to me. They can give me an estimate, but then again, an election has to happen for them to do that.
So you get the cost after the election? Oh, okay.
I get billed after, so whenever we do the budget and I provide something, it could be more, it could be less.
Okay, so that is an item that we need to figure out and try to see. This is page 24.
And then the other thing that I do want to mention is that when we do, for example, signage and those big signs that come out, those
Yes.
things are also included in that. And so that has to be something that's also factored in. It's not just the cost of the election, but it's also the awareness that individuals have about the election.
So I have a question. So the election cost, could you give a breakdown of what that is? No,
I just
no,
did.
No, no. I heard that there are poster signs, I've heard that, so I want to know, what are the detailed election costs? What are those election costs?
So there's what Miami-Dade charges to do an election.
And we don't know that.
Okay.
We don't know that. There's signage that we put out.
Okay,
There's notices that go out.
okay.
And so those are about any notices advertising about the election. That's pretty much what takes place to go into that cost.
And then the cost of if there's a
No,
runoff.
just so that, I'm not even talking about money right now. So I'm talking about election costs right now. So we're talking about dealing with the Department of Elections, the ballots, whatever, the signage, the notices, and those are those are all the election costs?
If they charge us for having the porta potties out, that might be included as well.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be.
I heard Paul say, yeah, because he doesn't want to pay for them, so.
Okay,
And so
we
What do you
just
have?
figure out this.
Yeah.
But,
Anything to add, Mr.
now, if I may, in the past, did we factor this type of cost, or those are like being added on
Those are typically included every year.
Yeah, this-
every year?
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at these, like, I remember vividly when we had that meeting about changing the elections to November,
Yeah.
we said the cost was going to go down, but we have a 50,000 jump in here compared to,
So,
But just because it's budgeted doesn't mean it's going to be
that's
used.
right. Yeah.
So
Okay.
I have a
There
question.
wouldn't necessarily be an election in well, I guess the election in.
Well, the November one, right? And then if there's a runoff from there.
So
I take it back.
what was the cost of the last election that we had?
It was in there.
We
The
don't have,
actual cost?
we don't have the details of the actual cost, but last year we did budget 125,000.
That's not what I don't want what was budgeted. I
But we
want
didn't
to
use that,
know,
right? No?
I want to know the cost of let me rephrase that, of the last election that the city of North Miami had. This is
So
what
it could have been about 180, I want to say, just off the top of my head. I don't want to be quoted on that. And then I also have to remember, because we do pay library staff and overtime, so that comes out of elections as well.
So 2021 was the last one?
Yeah, 2021.
Let me see.
Okay.
You would like to know the
Yeah.
cost of the last election?
Right. So the last election, I believe, was in 2021.
Okay,
So I'd like to know what was that cost.
okay.
Okay. While we getting that finance?
And that cost, just to be clear, it obviously includes early voting and election, throughout election day, is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. That's-
Sure.
We're on to finance?
Yeah, and I have some questions.
Finance
Are you
is the one
ready?
that merged with budget, is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, finance did, okay. So the that was my question. So there's an increase of 12%, 12.16%, representing about almost $500,000. Is that for the two positions that were
No,
budgeted? Okay.
no.
Right.
So there are a few moves here. We had BTR was initially budgeted in finance, which
What was
is
it?
now part of.
BTR?
BTR.
yes,
Oh, the business tax receipts?
That is now budgeted in land use services, formerly known as CP&D. So we moved those positions out, and along came budget. Budget moved into finance as a new division, and that came with the budget manager, the budget administrator, along with a budget analyst.
You have a budget administrator, the budget analyst was
the
added,
budget too.
and then a budget administrator too. So I have some issues with this, I'm sorry, Mayor, did you?
Go ahead,
wanna
no, go ahead.
Okay. So I have some issues with, well, I know this is not this administration, but I had some issues with these changes, especially when you take a assistant finance director and you bring them down to a finance manager. Did those salaries stay the same?
They actually went up.
Okay, but why the change in title? Because the change in title almost, to me, it looks like a demotion. Because if I'm the assistant finance director and now I'm a finance manager, the title in itself, to me, is a demotion, even though I understand that the pay is still the same or whatever, or if it was increased or whatnot. But I think that, you know, when we're making changes and it's affecting folks, we need to be mindful of those type of changes.
Okay.
So that's just what I wanted to put on record, that if we can address that, maybe not in this fiscal year, but whenever, but moving forward, I don't think we should be making changes to people's titles like that. That's not cool.
Just to address that change, we were advised by personnel that since there was no longer a director of finance and a director of budget, you can
Yeah.
have an assistant to a director that doesn't exist. So there was
Okay.
a chief financial officer, and so because we were not changing their salaries, we actually increased the salaries. The best suitable at the time title that we could find was manager. However, the reason why the assistant director position changed because there was no longer a director to be an assistant to.
Yeah.
No, I hear you.
But we can work with personnel to address that concern.
And did the personnel complete the salary study that they commissioned?
We're still, a lot of the information has come through. We're still in conversations with the consultant that we're working with, so that has not been completed yet, but we are very aware of these two positions, the changes that have happened, and we are working on that.
Okay, thank you.
And real quick, on that note, so it almost seems like $1 million more, but a little bit less from last year to this year. Would that be those two positions or the including?
No, that
Course.
just included a whole department. We actually had a savings with the budget director. We didn't have a budget director. We just have
Okay.
a budget manager now.
So that 4.5 million, it is a saving while we,
It's 484. Yeah, it is a savings still, yes.
okay. Anything else in budget?
Are you guys adding a deputy CFO? I remember at one point there was a position for that. That's not being added, right?
No.
Okay.
It is not.
Okay, thank you.
Executive assistant to the CFO, okay, the building utility. Okay, finances,
Mayor,
yes?
okay, if I could just go
Yes,
back
please, go
quickly.
ahead.
The number just to Miami-Dade County for the elections in 2021 was just over $203,000, $100,000.
100 or 2?
200 and
Yeah, 3.
200, 203.
Got you. Thank you.
So that means you need more money.
No, she has
No?
more money. She has money. She has money. She
I
has all
mean,
the
if,
money.
Wait, we have an election, this is making sure.
But it's with the county, so maybe.
if you owe the county, you owe the county.
Okay, well, I get that, okay. So we okay with finance personnel?
No, is it city attorney?
No, we skipped city attorney. Whoa, Jeff, they just put you out of business.
No, I think city attorney's next at 51.
Is it? Oh, I think, I'm sorry, it's me. It's so short. Jeff had all the money, 2 pages.
It's because his
Okay.
budget book doesn't have
Yeah,
tabs.
I think Jeff, I don't think we usually have any.
I have to say that I appreciate that the money for outside counsel is as low as it is. No, and I'm saying that in all seriousness, $300,000 is a lot, but I've seen past administrations where, way predating you, where outside counsel was way over $1 million, where
How much have
basically
we spent?
the attorney
Are we
was
done?
farming everything out. So I appreciate that
We've
you and
been-
Jennifer are doing all the work.
We've been lucky to stay out of
Good.
many major lawsuits, so we haven't used a lot of outside counsel.
Oh, really? So you haven't, okay.
We've
But-
had a couple of unexpected ones, but
Yeah.
not as usual.
Oh, okay, well, that's good.
There is,
Honestly, that's super realistic. Like, I commend you.
yes.
So I have, oh, I'm
No,
sorry.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
So I'm looking at city attorney's budget and I'm comparing it to city manager's budget, because the office structure is almost the same. So I feel like there may be some discrepancies with some of the titles. So like, let's just look at city manager, city attorney, they're both at 50. But if I look at deputy city manager, who's at a step 48, and I'm looking at deputy city attorney,
Oh,
at a
yeah,
step
that's,
46.
that
We have
needs
to
to
fix
be,
that.
yes.
And then you have an assistant city attorney at 36, but you have an assistant city manager
Like
at,
40-something?
is that 47?
Yes.
Who is assistant city manager?
You stop that. They
Oh,
just
but
put that
I'm
in
just
there.
saying, there's some, we're not gonna call names.
They don't have
But I'm
to
just
lie.
saying that it should look,
It's-
city
yeah.
manager and city attorney's office should mirror. So I think
So,
we need to address that.
To that point, that is a new position. You didn't mention that, Roy. Was it budget last year? Assistant city manager.
More so of a position change or
I
same
know, but we
person,
don't
different
know.
title. Same
Who are you
person,
talking?
different title.
Okay, I'm lost. Okay, when these things happen, it'll be good if we as policymakers get a courtesy and know, I'm finding stuff out from the streets, on the streets. And sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not, but that's not good. We cannot operate a city like that. So do we have an assistant? Because I didn't think, I thought we had a deputy and then a chief of staff. So,
Last year was budgeted, the
we
assistant city
didn't use it.
manager, correct. We had assistant city manager, and then it changed to deputy city manager.
that's what I,
Yes.
well, no, that happened the year before with Ms.
No, it happened last year, this past year.
So
But it
Anisha
happened as a
wasn't-
budget cycle. It
was
happened,
No.
it happened with the administration.
Correct.
That's what I
you
was.
say, yeah. Don't say it happened
Wasn't that the
here.
year before? No, I
It
know.
happened
It was
this
changed with the
I
current-
know it-
administration, not
yes,
during
that's
budget
what-
time.
yeah,
So your
that's what he
previous
was saying,
manager made
okay.
that change.
So again, so we keeping the deputy and then now we adding an assistant?
We're not adding, it was always there.
Okay, but we didn't use it, last year, like this
It
year.
wasn't in the budget last year. It was the chief of staff.
They said
I
it
have
was.
the adopted budget, it was in the budget last year.
Oh, so
Okay.
you guys did it in the
Memo
what-
change memo?
in the change
No,
memo?
no, I don't think
No.
they used it. So this will be the first time they will use it, which is fine. We just need to know.
No. In our budget book, it was another title. But I'm saying
Oh.
is when they, I don't know, when they pass, when they
Oh,
pass
the
the payroll
changes.
or whatever with, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, when things are like that are happening, well,
need
I
to
was just
know.
I was just pointing the discrepancies between city manager and city attorney's office that I think needs
No,
to be
but you're
addressed.
right, because it's not in last year's book. So last year's city manager, deputy, chief of staff, strategic planning manager, communication, PIO, et cetera, et cetera.
I'm sorry, for last year, I have the adopted budget, and it has the assistant city manager and
Well,
the deputy
well,
city
Let me
manager.
say this to you.
So-
Flash news, this right here.
In this year's budget?
No, this is last year's
2023, 2024.
adopted budget. Because that's what I'm going back based on.
Okay,
going
I'll
by the
look at, I'll look
proposal.
at that, yeah.
This is not good, but I'm just, look, maybe Scott, maybe you could see better than I do. I don't see no assistant here.
It was a different.
All
administration.
all I can see is November 5th. When I-
You know what? You ain't no
Make sure your
good. Let's-
discretionary is still there for December 15th.
Trust me, no, I'm leaving that discretionary for the
No,
next
you should
person.
wipe it
And
out.
I'm praying that
No,
it'll run
I'm
off
not
in
gonna
your
do that. I'm not gonna do
district,
that.
so you'll be,
And again, this is one of the reasons why I'm just going to sit quietly and take some good notes, because some of this stuff we need to really look into them.
yes.
Because as I said, we need to add more to services. I was looking at street resurfacing. I don't know if it's that for one district or for the entire city. I know we'll get to that, because we cannot just keep on adding position after position just for the title. So we have to be very careful. We need to work in a way that we become service oriented. We have a lot of people, yes, but basically, if we have a city manager, assistant city manager, deputy city manager, this is too much. So we have to.
A city our side.
Yeah, we
outside,
need to see exactly what is needed and how we're going to move forward, because we need to find a way to save money or put more money into service.
Well, and I
to the
think this
city.
is why we go like page by
Yes,
page, because then
so
we make
we'll
a little
know.
mental
Yeah.
note of, okay, we
Because
need to
we
take
are gonna
50,000, we'll take it
I do
here.
have that, Councilman Charles, the resurfacing, because that was one of the questions I asked them during my briefing. But the more problematic is that I have something and you have something totally different. So, but that's what the public have. What I have is what they gave me from last year. So we just have to figure that out. So it probably was there internally, and then you guys, so you will fill that, Madam Manager. So with the chief of staff would be a new position, a new person you'll be adding towards that, or, yeah? No, I know. Yeah, I know, but that's what we're talking about, not right now. No, boom. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, okay. Okay, so you got, okay. So, okay, 20, so last year was 20, and then this year, the good thing is it's 1.5, but I understand it's because communication is taken out already. Personnel, oh, I'm in personnel.
No, that was my question for the city attorney.
No, we did city attorney, Jeff, they gave him a good
Kudos.
comment. Okay. And I must say to staff, I am really, the first thing I asked, I think when you, Ms. Reyes, because after I met with you, the first question I asked was, what do we have? So Councilman, to answer your question, and I do have to give them credit and command for that. So for the second time in a year, and this is big, we are not going to be wavering support in terms of not adding into the revenue, into our reserve. And this year, it actually, so I do have to commend them on that. They did increase we're not at the 5 million, but we're getting there. So we had 2.9, and that's the second time, despite whatever's going on out there. So we are making progress in terms of the city. And I do have to applaud you guys for that, because right now we could say we finally have $5 million in our reserve. And every year, we're supposed to have, by law, 5 million, but
We're supposed to
go
put
up.
an additional
Yeah,
5
additional
million.
5 million. So, and we never had that for almost 8 years prior to, until last year, when the first thing that we did was that. So I do thank the council and thank you guys for doing that, so we good. So personnel, we good? The personnel?
Let's see what's going on,
Personnel. Ms. Woodley, you take all the money. Not Ms. Woodley, it's Parks that take all.
we
Parks and
need-
Police. Yes, Chief.
They didn't
you see
increase
what's bad.
wellness programs and personnel?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Not yet.
Yeah, the wellness. Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Right, so I have a question, actually, not about the wellness, but about the tuition reimbursement. How much of it was used last year?
We'll get that number for you.
That's a good question.
Out of 50,000, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get that number for you when we have the system up.
Okay.
Do you think you had the system up by second go-round?
I believe so. We are in the process of having it up by the second go-around, at least so I can get these answers done.
And then, I asked this question, don't ask it, not look for an answer tonight, but what happens if not? Like, how do we handle a second hearing without access to anything? Like, should we be reaching out to the state to say, hey?
Well, again, the access to Eden is only interrupted for the last 30 days for reconciliation. We will be able to access Eden to find historical data.
Oh, we will?
Well, Eden has data, but we're looking to restore the M drive, which has the
And that's the
historical
other portion
data.
of it.
That's the real
Gotcha.
The real
data.
key. Okay. Saying that-
Yeah.
Just something to think about, so that we don't have to come back on, what is it, the 18th, and then try to talk about a third hearing, so to speak.
I understand. I don't have the answer to
Yeah,
that,
no,
but
no,
yes.
I wasn't asking anybody how to
Right.
answer, it just popped in my.
But for me, as it relates to personnel, I'd just like to see a little bit more for wellness programs in terms
How's
of,
that going?
I know we
I
have
know
the
you get the
workout
stuff.
classes,
Yeah.
but whatever we can do to improve
Oh, yeah.
overall
It's
employees'
2,000.
wellness is, whether it's, bringing some Google nappers or something, I don't know, but whatever we can do to beef that up.
Okay, employee training program, we good. And I asked this, maybe Ms. Woodley, that this would be a question for you. For the past, I think almost, I entered in this city when I was in high school. And it seems like, and that's almost like 20-something years ago, the online portal for employees, and that was something that I was asked, is there any way that we could just look and update it to modern age? Because it seems, you know what I'm talking about, the login to your employee portal where you get everything. It's working, but it's been there since 1920. Like when you log in to get your paycheck and everything, you never logged in?
This is actually part of the Munis implementation.
Okay.
So once we implement fully into Munis, you'll have
That would be
a
a new
updated employee
version.
portal.
Okay.
Yes.
Because that would also be the portal for people to pay their water bill, because it just look outdated, you know.
All of that will be
Yeah.
updated with the implementation of Munis.
Awesome. Thank you, Ms. Woodley. You don't have to say nothing. Okay, IT, whoa. So there is, just so you guys know, there is a change memo that was dropped off, yeah, and this is relate to page, so, I'm on the wrong page, okay. Yeah, IT, this is,
It's showing a reduction? Oh, this is for the staffing reduction, right?
No, so what you see on your, on the podium is it includes the $1 million for capital improvements, the IT's network and securities. When we printed, that page wasn't updated on the print, so only the first 2 pages changed. Everything behind it, still the same.
So you said 1 million for, this is the capital outlay? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yes, that's for the security and network improvements.
And for upgrades to the hardware as well.
on, going back to, right.
Do you have a list of what those are?
We do not at the moment, but we will get that to you.
So how you know it's 1 million?
Well, that's what we received from the IT department.
So did they submit it as a CIP?
Yes.
Is IT here?
Yes, Will is there.
Where's Claude? What happened?
Good afternoon, Councilman. I'm sorry, mayors and council and city administration. We're Nick Joseph, Assistant IT Director.
Okay.
So we do have a list of things that need to upgrade as of right now. The firewall, we need a monitoring system, IDS and IPS. We need multi-factor authentication throughout the whole city.
Multi what?
No, that's
Factor
the
authentication.
two-way, yeah, the two-way factor authentication.
We need to upgrade our email infrastructure to E3. It has a more robust security.
We did though, that like.
Yeah, I think those need to be provided to us just
Does
so that
it-
we can.
Is the list still going?
We'll get a list and
No,
provide.
I'd like to hear it,
Okay.
please, if you could allow him to speak.
We're looking to upgrade all our switches over throughout the city. We need to upgrade some of our servers as they outdated.
When you say increase your service as they're outdated, could you be more
Servers.
specific? Servers, okay,
The
I didn't hear you well.
computer
Sorry.
system.
Server,
Okay, the whole
okay.
system. So this will be, you know, it'll be more detailed.
Yes.
By the next one, because it just said 1 million, and we don't know. Okay.
So, may I have a
Yes,
question,
go ahead.
please? Okay, so you've mentioned 6 things that are needed. Are they reflected, are all of those needs,
I'm sorry, say it one more
are
time.
all of those needs reflected in the budget?
Yes,
So there's money for the firewall, there's money for the multi-factor authentication, there's the upgrade for the E3, there's money for the servers, is that what I'm hearing?
That's what's included in the 1 million.
But it's not listed in here, right?
It will be, I'm
It will be
assuming.
itemized, but that's what the $1 million is consisting of, and it will be itemized at the next hearing.
So,
Right, sure.
sorry.
Is there anything else that is needed to make, that you have not listed here?
so we are still doing some of our homework, how to improve our network infrastructure. So as time comes, we will evaluate more stuff and then get the cost. So I don't have the cost right now, but we do know what we need to make our system more robust and effective.
Okay, so basically, what you've listed here is if we have those things, the chances of us having a breach would be
It would be
much
minimized.
minimized.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think.
So
we can-
that,
Yeah,
I
minimize.
understand that, I understand that, right, I understand, but at least
Yes.
extremely difficult, so we're not,
Yes.
okay, another question? Go
Additionally,
ahead.
there are new positions that are added to the.
I was just about to ask
So
that next.
there are personnel increases as well.
So, may I continue? Thank you. How many personnel increase do we have?
I believe 6.
Well, this is, it looks like it's decreased from last year to
No, but
this year.
PIO is out of that.
Oh,
The two
okay.
officers and
So
webmaster.
that's what I'm saying. So PIO is out, okay.
PIO will now be in communications.
So there are 6 new positions in IT? Is that what I'm hearing?
So we lost 3 positions as the year, as of last year, we're still in the year. And those positions haven't replaced yet, and we're looking forward to add 3 new personnel in our.
How many staffers do we have right now in IT?
14.
14, right?
About 5.
We have
5.
Well, I'm sorry, counting the receptionist, but as far as IT
IT
personnel,
Right.
it's,
Yeah, so I'm more interested in the IT personnel. I'm sorry, let me direct my question a little bit more specifically. How many technicians, IT technicians, that you have in your department?
6,
There are 6,
include me and Claude.
including you and Claude. For a city our size, would that be Madam Personnel? I'm not sure which one of you. For a city our size, what is the personnel that we need? I know that we have 6 IT technicians, but how many do we need?
At least 13.
Jesus.
That's a
You
double.
said 13.
Yes. Currently, we only have 1 person at the police department, and that's unacceptable.
Okay, so, but this, here's
You
my.
need 13 altogether,
Yes,
so that means you need 7.
7 more.
7 more staff to perform at the level that we
Yes.
should be
The
performing.
optimal, okay.
Optimal level.
Yeah,
And this is
but-
budgeted right here.
Question, based on what Vice Mayor just shared, so because I thought the $1 million would include these, so why wasn't that need? Because I know when I spoke to the director, I said a couple of weeks prior after this incident, that we need to make sure that, this budget, we know that IT would be impacted a little bit more because of what's happening. Wouldn't that be included, the 6? Because what we have here is basically the same thing, and then we Xing $1 million to upgrade our whole system. So even if the whole system is upgraded, but we don't have the amount of people, the personnel to monitor or do whatever that you guys do, it's kind of like defeating the purpose almost, but at least, because you need people, that's what we hearing.
Yes.
Okay, so I think, Madam Manager, we're not saying all 6 now, but at least 3 of them should be, we'll be looking forward to maybe a revision in the next thing to add that. Is the director still here?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
But if you look at what was provided, the positions that are listed here as 13 positions, all of those positions, if filled, will be filling the needs of those.
Right, so let me make.
But all of these positions are not currently filled, is what the issue is.
Right, but I'm actually, so I don't want to talk about receptionists. I don't
Right.
want to talk
So
about
for instance, our
management.
network
I wanna
administrator, we
talk
don't have
about-
currently a network administrator,
Right.
and we need to fill that position.
Correct. So
So
I wanna
those are the
talk
types
about-
of positions that we are prioritizing.
Okay, so, but it's already in the proposed budget.
For personnel, yes, this is what we,
Okay,
right
then
here, but
the
the $1 million
impression-
was for
No,
infrastructure.
we get that, but the impression that when Vice Mayor asked the question was how many personnel that we needed to be budgeted. The number was 7. So we saying that it's there, it's a matter of us recruiting and filling those positions.
Okay, I just
Okay,
wanted
so
to
we
get,
don't-
that's clear, okay.
But let me,
Yeah, exactly.
if I may on this topic. Now, I'm trying to understand. The situation that we are in, is it due to the manpower or our infrastructure? Because I just wanna be clear. We can add 20 people, but still, if our door is open,
So, Councilman, right, Councilman, I know what you're trying to ask, but I just want to go through the city manager and an attorney. You understand, I think it's so
No.
sensitive what we're asking.
No.
Because there's still an ongoing investigation, because I know what you're saying. You're
Vice Mayor,
saying,
Vice
is
Mayor,
it because of staff?
Vice Mayor, I fully understand.
Okay, just want to make sure.
You guys just basically talking about adding more people. But is it the solution? That's my only question. Because we can add more people, but if we don't have the capacity, the buffer
Yeah.
in place, it is not going to make a difference. And
Yes.
that is basically all I am saying.
And I'm
I'll
assuming
leave
the
it at
1
that.
million is, that's what that's for.
To answer the question, Councilman, the combined effort of recruiting the proper personnel, along with making sure we have the infrastructure in place, is what will make us
Yes,
as
more.
resilient as possible to any future incident. It will never be at zero. However, this is the way to be as resilient as possible to a future.
Okay,
And I thank you for that.
thank you. So we have everything budgeted, it's a matter of recruiting people and putting people to work. Okay, understandable. Okay, thank you. And anything else from IT other than this 1 million? So we don't need more people to be added in because it's already in the budget, right, sir? Or do we need?
The 13 positions are already here. It's the $1 million that.
Yeah, yeah,
right.
we got that. Okay, okay. So, Madam Vice Mayor, you understand, right? I'm assuming based on the question, that we would be okay.
I was actually focusing on the technical position. I'm hearing 13, but I just want to make sure that the technical.
Yeah, they said, yeah.
Okay,
So we
okay, as long as, no, because I see.
There
I
are
see
only
part-time
two
one,
non-technical, there's a
receptionist.
part-time and a receptionist.
Right.
Everything else is a technical position, if you see. So we have the IT specialist 3, the ERP administrator.
Right, so the 7
assistant.
that I was asking that is missing, I just want to make sure that 7 that's missing is technical, or that needs to be staff.
Those will be technical
Okay.
positions.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Are we good with IT? Okay. Here go half of our budget. Chief.
Half of the new money, you mean.
Okay, we are. Police? Jesus. And you know how they did this?
Police actually went down.
All right, police, are we, where are we? The increase, 9.5, oh, that's not too bad. This is page 81.
So I have a question. When it comes to police, in terms of is it Explorers?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
I want to know, thank you. So I think I asked last year, I just want to ask again this year
Yeah.
to see what are we doing about that?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Sharice Gauze, Chief of Police, 700 Northeast 124th Street, through the manager. So we, again, for this year, what we have is the junior, like the junior explorers, if you want to say that, the cadets, that we will hope we can raise them up and then they will become explorers. Because as we indicated last year, we are competing with one other agencies, as well as School Board has an explorer program that is capturing the high school aged children.
When you say you're competing, what do you mean by that?
So what I mean by that is there are other police departments that have explorer programs, neighboring agencies that have explorer programs, and then School Board Police Department also has an explorer program that actually captures the students in that age range within their high schools. So we get them at a younger age, grow them up through
Oh,
our
I see
own
what you're saying.
program so that we can retain them.
Okay. Thank you. Madam,
What?
go ahead, go ahead.
How many officers are we short of being at industry standard?
Oh, God.
Or are we at industry
So
standard?
we're about, to be at industry standard, we should be at about 150, and we are at 121 sworn.
Okay, so we're not too bad.
Too far.
Yeah, because it was bad a couple of years ago, so. And any new one adding in this budget?
So we do hope to add, we did apply for the COPS hiring grant this year. We are requesting as a supplement additional officers. We have not been, told if we were awarded yet in order to make that determination. But yes, the answer is we are asking for additional officers for this fiscal year.
And this is the grant that would would pay up for about 3 years, or what's the length of time that would pay for an officer?
What's the length of time?
What is this
Oh, with the
grant?
COPS hiring?
Right.
It is for 3 years, but it is $125,000 for the 3-year period per officer.
Okay.
Okay. And since CIB was no longer a thing anymore, and I know we took 1% of the police budget that funded the CIB, did that money go back to police?
No, it was my understanding it would, but I haven't gotten a final determination yet on that.
Remember
But-
the CIB, it was a percentage of the police budget. So was that
But
money restored?
I don't think the money was not the police, and that was the
Oh,
misconception. It was never, the model was applied to the police. So it was never in your budget, it was in our general fund, that we funded.
so-
It was the percentage that whatever that we used, the formula, the other cities, so we kind of had it in terms of that. We're always trying to clear that up to people, but they thought it was like taking money from the police, it wasn't.
It's not in here. It's a
No.
supplement
No,
that
it wouldn't
wasn't
be in there.
funded this
Right, but it was my understanding, and I'll find out that it did come from the police budget. That was my understanding
That
as
was
well,
my
but I will
understanding as
find
well.
out.
No,
Oh,
no.
okay, that was,
no,
that was
no,
my
no.
understanding as well. So
No.
that's fine.
Mr. Rivera, you, Assistant
Well,
Chief?
the attorney was getting ready to chime in.
No, I mean, we drafted the ordinance,
Yeah,
created
exactly.
it. So basically, we used the police
formula.
budget as the guide on what the,
What the
bu-
amount
what
The
the
amount,
amount would be.
yeah,
So
okay.
it was
It
supposed
would
to
be
be
from the
based
general
on whatever
fund.
percentage of the police
Their
budget, but it didn't
budget.
come out of the police budget.
Yeah, it
Never
was
did.
the police budget.
Okay.
We were
But,
paying them.
so while we're on the CIB topic, where did that money go?
That's the manager.
Crickets.
Back to the general fund.
Oh, good, and now it's back
It
to the
came,
$1
it came
million
from the
dollar?
general fund, so it went back to the general fund.
Okay.
So that's how we were
That's how we
able to
got-
afford
IT got all
the
the
$1 million IT.
positions.
So thank God for CIB, well, not the governor, but thank God for.
It was a
Okay,
placeholder.
this is, okay, Zoom, okay, this is, so, budget, I think I'll have more like, Councilman Charles, with the police, because police is always, so uniform, for example, so it's up. Is that, what, is that because of more officers, or from last year, almost like,
So it's for every year for officers to be able to get uniforms, new uniform allotments.
no, I know what it's for, Chief, I'm saying the amount went up from 15, is this 15 million to 17 million?
What page are you on?
Page 87.
Okay.
That's, I think, Department 001. And members of the public, please take your questions, write them down towards the end. You know, we'll open it for public hearings. And thank you, Councilwoman Timothy, for reminding me.
Uniforms.
It's its own separate unit. So the patrol, it's under patrol.
So, under patrol, so uniforms, again, right, just the annual allotment that is given to each officer, but in addition to that, just costs that have gone up for
Yeah,
uniforms.
that's what I wanted to, but costs that have gone up to, because I was hoping you said that was an extra person. So it's almost like $200,000 difference.
So also understanding that when we hire new personnel, it is a larger increase than a regular officer's allotments because they need an entire, new set of uniforms and equipment. So for the new personnel that we've hired, they do get a higher amount of uniforms.
So so again, my question with, so is the 001 account, the difference from last year was 15,572,980 to this year 17,213,188. So it's almost $200,000.
Mr. Mayor, if
Yes,
I may.
sir.
So just to clear it up, so you're looking at uniform patrol, and that is the actual, like, division, that.
No, I know. My question to that, I know exactly what it is. I've been here for 10 years, so that's one thing with the police I kind of know. My question is, so, because the chief says uniform, I can't imagine uniform being almost $200,000 more. So what's the
It's
increase?
personnel increases.
That's what I wanted to,
This
okay.
is the 5% merit, 4% COLA.
Okay, so 9%, okay, that's what, okay, got it. Thank you. Yes.
But,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, while I have the chief in here, I have a quick question. That's homework for next year. Last time you had a whole, was like 3 different departments putting together over on Northwest 7th Avenue. And we had that comment post from Miami Gardens.
Yes.
Make me feel very bad. Is that something that we can start working this year with our grant writer and see if we can allocate money and see if it's not this year, in a year or two, probably get one of these very nice
Command post.
comment posts for the North Miami Police. I think that would help them so much.
Yes,
Because I was in
definitely.
there, I had a tour with the chief of police from Miami Gardens. It was like so nice and so helpful, and you got everything in there. I think our North Miami Police Department will look good with something like that.
Yes,
Start
I
putting
agree,
the work
Councilman.
now and see if we can move on into that direction. Probably not next year, a year or 2 years from now.
Yes.
We could probably have something like that.
Definitely, the department could benefit from it.
Yes. Mhm. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman, on that note, Chief, remember when we talked about I guess, is it the command center, the live?
The real-time
the
crime
real-time
center, sir.
center. Yeah, that is something, I think the League of Cities, they did something in Georgia, I think, no, it was the African-American mayors. And we went into a town, they had the mayors gone, and they had this amazing live, really, really things that could help deter crime, and especially in a high area. And I think we talked about it last year.
Yes. And I did provide you with those numbers. Certainly, it's a force multiplier for the police department because it adds extra eyes and ears. We are getting the flock cameras this year, so it would be in unison with that. So definitely a real-time crime center would benefit us.
Right there. And then they had it downtown, you could see if the people were backing
Yeah.
out, the people coming in. So it was really, really, and then they promoted,
Yes.
it's like one of the safest city in Georgia.
One of the other
Peach-
benefits
Peach
is that the
City, that was
businesses can actually allow us access, and we would also have access to cameras
So
that
how much
they
is
have.
to start something like that, how much would that be?
I would have to go back and look at what the
Yeah, that would
estimate
be
was.
something we would want to know. Okay, thank you. And with patrol, chief, it went up very, it's not a big jump in terms of from 16 to 17 million. So that's everyone?
So yes, forgive me, because I was thinking that you were talking about uniforms, which what you're talking about is uniform patrol,
Yeah,
meaning the
the
officers, the
unit.
actual
Yeah,
officers.
with the-
Yes.
I
All
got
this
you.
time, I thought he was talking about uniform.
I thought,
I-
but
yes.
it's
Understand why
okay.
he's giving you a hard time over
Uniform.
No.
Uniform patrol officers.
$200,000, I'm like, wait,
Right,
for
right, no,
uniform?
I
Yes,
didn't-
but
Yes.
you got it.
Okay.
The unit is called uniform officers. So patrol is good, community policing, we good on that, but that went down. Like, there's 2 people that was there last year, is not there this year.
Okay.
Right after that, Councilman. So last year, under community policing, that we had 20 employees. This year, the.
Under community
Oh,
policing, we
I
had
see.
1 sergeant and 6 officers.
No, you know what happened? I just see it. So code compliance officer and administrative specialist is not funded. So did that move somewhere?
Right, so the code actually went over to NSD, Animal
Okay,
Services
that's
went to NSD.
That's why, okay.
Yes.
Got it.
And then we
That's
just moved the administrative position from community policing to another area.
got it, okay. The next one is community, they got 2 pages. Okay. Yeah, policing don't play. Okay, investigation. And this is just I want to X that. I see Roy looking at me. We'll leave that alone. Okay, so we good with this land use services. Sustainability, okay, that's all. Thank you, Chief, thank you. Any
Thank you.
question? Councilman, you had a question? You good? Okay. Okay. Is this a new department, or this is the land use office of, what is this?
This is the same department, this is formerly known as CP&D.
Okay, okay, again, let me say this to you guys. We are the policymakers. I know you guys have administrative stuff you could do, but you need to let us know, like,
This
the
was done
office.
prior, Mr. Mayor.
No,
This
I
was
know,
done
but
by
still,
previous
that's
administration.
that even worse. That means that whoever probably didn't even tell us, so I'm just putting it
Person
out
no
there.
longer there.
So is it the office of, so what is this office of, so that's the new
Land use
name?
services, like what?
I'm not sure why this prints this way. This is department, this is DSD. This is
Oh, okay.
Department Services
is-
Department. I'm not sure why that's
What is
printing that way.
DSD?
Separate.
Department,
That's community
Development
planning, remember they changed
Services.
it the last administration changed it?
They-
It's just been a lot
Is
of
this
changes.
community planning? This-
Yeah, community planning.
I think somebody need
Is it
to
proper to
sit
say
down
do it
and,
without an ordinance?
give us a lecture
No, I think they
or
can.
some kind of training on all them
I believe.
changes,
No, but it
because
requires an ordinance.
Does it?
Yeah.
No, not in, Mr. Attorney.
Yeah.
It doesn't require an ordinance
Right,
for
for
administrative
change-
change position.
To
change the department name?
Change the name
I
of
think it does.
I think creating,
So,
So,
just-
we looked at this. So it's in our ordinances to change it that
Okay.
way, but it's never been changed that way. And we looked at multiple instances over the years where departments have been added and changed.
So it's in our
So-
ordinance to change it
To
that
change
way.
it, but it's
For us
not
to
the
change
last
it.
administration only that did it. It's been multiple before that.
okay.
So nobody's been following.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember under Larry Spring, we went from, I think code enforcement was its own separate department, then went to
Yeah, I
police. I mean,
remember.
that, it was in police and it came out, so it's been, yeah, for whatever reason, we just, our actual practice doesn't match what we've been
Well,
doing in our
What we
code.
do, okay,
So everybody just needs to just change.
but okay, never mind.
So the legal answer is, it should be an ordinance to change the department. Is that the legal
Ordinance,
answer?
yeah, it's not in the
Okay.
charter, and so, yeah, it's not like a charter requirement,
Okay.
it's an ordinance.
So, going back
That
to
being said, I just
this,
want to be clear that this is not being, this is an existing department.
no, we
this
know,
fiscal
year.
that's why we're addressing it now.
but,
So, DSD is,
No, formerly CP&D.
NSB. Oh, that's not even
And
NSB.
building, so it was, there were two
Oh.
departments, there was a.
So this is community planning?
This
Community
was
planning and
CP&D
building.
and
Yeah.
building, so you had community planning,
We all types of
and
confused
otherwise
up here.
known as zoning, people used to call that
It's
zoning,
land
and then you
use
had a building
services.
department.
And it's just called land use services?
So
No,
now this is.
I don't know where land, this is a misprint from somewhere, I'm not sure
Oh.
where that came from. I am saying that the old thing was
So what is the name of the
CP&D and
department?
building. Today,
This
it
must
is
have been
known
the
as Development
1926
Services
version.
Department, which is DSD.
It says right there, the objective of, to oversee and manage the department
We're
services.
just gonna blame the incident on this one.
Department,
We just gonna blame the
DSD.
cyber incident.
But DSD is that the name of the department or is Office of Land Use Services?
No,
That's,
the department is named Development Services Department, which is the
Okay.
acronym DSD.
we got. So this is just a mistake.
That is correct.
Okay.
oh, no.
So that means that the
Land
director
use is
of
a
land
mistake?
use services is a mistake too? So it should be the
Yeah.
assistant director of DSD?
Yeah, apparently.
I mean, yes, because if you look at it, the first one is DSD Director, now you have
yep.
Assistant Director of Land Use Services. It's Assistant Director of DSD.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
A lot of,
DSD. And then this is also formerly known as Community Planning and Development and Building, correct?
That is correct. Two separate
Just so
departments.
the public
No,
is aware, when
I
they're
know.
coming and they tell you go to DSD, you're either going to CP&D or
I would not even
building.
tell them no
There were
DSD
two
'cause I
separate
don't know.
departments that were merged into one, and that one department is
Oh,
now
yeah,
known
yeah. I
as
don't know
Development
about the
Services
DSD,
Department.
Well, not no land use or something. Okay, so let's look at their money.
Land mine.
Like a land use. We need land. So they increased, we need some explanation because this shows that the change is $1.2 million decrease, but we know it was increased somewhere else.
Because isn't building its own enterprise?
Yeah.
Building is a standalone fund, yeah.
Fund or not department?
Yeah, but, asking about
Well,
the-
building is
the-
part of DSD, but building in itself, isn't it part of the enterprise fund? Or is its own separate funding? Like, where are they? In non-departmental?
Building is a special fund, so it's a separate fund.
So it's under special funds?
Yes.
So it's not in DSD?
Some building personnel is in DSD, but the actual funding, the income, that revenue that comes in is a special fund.
Is it under?
So are any of these positions paid for by that special fund?
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta write that out.
Lord have mercy, okay? So,
We need to have a special meeting.
let's go with DSD. So, I'm, it's after police. Yes. Okay, community planning, sustainability, planner, zoning. Okay.
So, I'm sorry, what page is the special funds on in our current budget book?
25.
What that?
It's all confusing.
Do we have it?
Yes, 1 second.
Oh, I think I found it. Is
Oh,
it four?
A quick question,
399?
quick question.
399.
$3.99? Okay.
Yes.
That would be the building special fund. There are other special funds, but that one is on 399.
Madam Manager, a quick question.
Councilman.
Why do I replace Office of Land Use Services by
Pardon me?
DSD.
DSD?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So, so I'm seeing duplicates here. So for, on 399, it has Development Service Director 44, or half of the position is funded there?
Correct.
And then the other half is funded here? Okay, so
Correct.
that's why it's 0.5, okay.
I have a question. So who worked on the budget? Who worked on it?
Roy, myself, the whole administration, the
What does that
departments.
mean, the whole administration? I
So
mean,
all
I
of the
need names.
departments, all of
No,
the
no, I know the
directors.
departments submit items to you guys, so you guys kind of
And we
work this
meet with
out.
each and every one of them as well and go over line
Yeah,
items
yeah,
with
yeah,
them.
okay.
Yes.
All right. Division 439 under, where would it be? Okay, I see it. But that division is sustainability. Last year it was, okay, this is the objective was 04, this is, so I'm looking for division or department 09 and division 439. Where would that be?
Mr. Mayor, if I will.
Yes, sir.
Last year, we had Division 003, which was Economic Development. That has been moved out to a standalone department that you will see on page 279. That was the major decrease within the department. Along with that move of funds, there were 3 positions moved out also.
Okay, what I'm looking for, my question again is, department, the same department, last year was Community Planning and Development, division, well, department number 09, division number 39. So it's completely gone from this fiscal year. I just want to make sure that we're not missing anything or an explanation from it. I could read the title, maybe that will help.
Please.
Okay, this is Denmark property on Northwest 7th?
So all of that moved into finance as we
Okay.
have a unit of asset management now.
Okay.
So we will be
Oh, because of
doing
the-
asset management,
that
yes.
code,
And then, what is this amount for? I
Which
forget
amount?
The amount that we have for that division. Last year was 300,000? I don't know, I think she said it's a new department, it's changed to something.
I'm not sure which amount you're referring to.
So the Denmark property.
Yes.
He's
So
looking at last year's.
last
Oh.
year, but you said that it's changed to your department.
Yes.
This year on the asset. I'm
Yes.
saying, is the line item the same, and what is the line item for?
The line item is for the rental, what we pay for rent.
I thought we collect rent.
But there are rental properties that we pay rent to. So Denmark property, we also collect the rent. So we have a collection specialist doing all what is called the asset management or the collections of everything in the finance department as opposed to CP&D or DSD.
So for me to understand that, so we just budgeted whatever that we're gonna get from whoever we rent the land for.
So I'm going to go to the page where we have it so that we can
Could
speak the same, yeah.
Yes.
Page
because-
46.
Page 46. You know, okay, okay, I see it.
Yes,
Ew.
yes,
Okay, but
yes.
it's, well, that increase, I guess that's to 364.
Page 46.
So about $70,000 more this year. But this, okay, I guess that's the office rent, okay, that's adding to it. I'm a little bit lost. Alone, the amount for Denmark from last year was $304,000. So this year, it seems like it's 182? Or, well, 159 plus 182?
Correct, and plus 20, well,
No,
with
the
the
20
taxes.
is
Yes.
something else.
So yes, those are the true ups. So we had to true up the amount this year.
Okay,
What do you mean by
According to our
true up?
contract.
What is true up?
Sorry. So we had, according to the contract, there was an additional amount that was added every year, CPI 3%, that we had to add to the cost of the property.
okay. So that we budgeted it into this year.
Correct.
Okay, my next question would be, don't we collect that money and then we put it out?
So there is we still have to pay for that property, and then we sub-rent that property out, which is reflected in our revenue income, which is not in here.
So we're paying rent to the Denmark owner,
Correct.
the actual Denmark family.
Correct.
We're paying rent to them.
Yes.
And then we sublease
To-
out to
To-
Nomi
yeah,
Village.
Correct.
And
And we
does
collect the
the-
rent.
And does the Nomi Village revenue equal
That's my
to?
question.
Yes, it does.
Okay, that's my
Yes, it
question, that's
does.
what I
So
wanted to
are
know.
we losing money on the Denmark lease?
No, we're not.
No, okay, because it would seem like, thank you, that.
And
okay,
there's the true.
We got it, okay. All right, so we are back to page 133, Public Works. Yes, sir. Finally. Infrastructure, yes, please introduce our Madam Manager, the new director.
I would like to present to you tonight, for the first time, Mr. Karis Fiddler, who is our new Public Works Director. And he's actually a welcome home. Mr. Fiddler used to be an employee here about 10 years ago, and he was a longstanding employee. He's now returned home to serve in a new capacity. So we welcome formally yet
Welcome.
again.
Thank you,
Thank you. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, and I promise we're only Public Works. That's our name, Public Works.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, maybe the next budget it'll change. Okay, perfect. Infrastructure sounds good. Okay, so Public Works, and I know Vice Mayor, we all have a lot of question in the same thing that Councilman Charles was talking about. So all of it is dealing with Public Works, a lot of the things that we want to do for the residents, street resurfacing. And my question, Madam Manager, I got an email from Keystone in reference to the flooding, and we'll talk about that, some money that I'm gonna ask in terms of that. Would that be from Public Works or another department? Well, no, it's not CPND, DSD, in terms of additional dealing with flooding? Because I know Public Works is stormwater and all this and all that.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
so I can go over the project that we have listed for the proposed budget, and I don't know if that'll answer your question, but right now,
What page would it be on?
that's gonna be on page. You can go to page 390. No, my
No,
apologies.
we have a different book.
Storm-
We on 146. So 146 is, oh, that's maintenance, okay, drainage construction. Okay.
Are they any listed in capital projects?
Yes.
Yeah, probably, that was my next question.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
Just to,
Because this is just more so, this, from where we're looking at page 133 to 154, this is just, I guess, your operations, like employees, and these are not like the bulk and, like, the major projects that you guys might
Yes,
have
so
for-
I'll go over the major projects. You know. Let me mention and then, because I've been here 2 months and I'm still getting familiar with the budget, especially with the cyber incident, but the stormwater projects that I have listed, we have Northeast 121st Street, and we have $580,000 for that. Northeast Third Court, that was budgeted in this fiscal year, but it's going to be moved to fiscal year '25, and that's $2.3 million. We also have a project listed, but we're pending an estimate for Northeast 139th and Fifth Avenue. We have an Arch Creek grant for $5.8 million. This is all stormwater. We also have, and this is just maintenance items like sandbags and canal cleaning and stormwater, the stormwater master plan, which we're pending the report. But as far as the capital, that's what we have for stormwater.
So the projects that's on Northeast, I know the 121st one, but Northeast Third Court and 139, exactly are those projects? Are they drainage? Is it?
Yes, stormwater improvement project. Yes, ma'am.
And is that it for this budget as it relates to stormwater?
Is
Or is there
that-
more?
As it relates to stormwater, that's it.
Right, so question for you for third court, is the 2.3 million enough?
As far as what we have budgeted, we feel it's enough, but, you know, we've moved it. It was budgeted for fiscal year 2024, so for us to move it, obviously, you know, we had to do some re-estimating of the project, but that's what we have allocated, the 2.3 million.
Is that the third, not the third court? That was, so the money is there?
Correct.
Okay. The other one with the Keystone, this was mainly, Councilman Galvin, I don't know if you know about this. This is about the Lower Lane court, flooding. So at least we got to try to, starting to evaluate that. So I am going to make a request from that if we could put some money to evaluate it and trying to figure out what's going on. Because it's really, really bad. I mean, true.
Sure. So I had already asked for a $500,000
Okay, that was my-
allocation toward that project.
Is it
It's not-
included?
It's not shown here in this budget, but I understand in talking with staff today that they are working on having that in place by the
place
second
for the
hearing.
second, okay,
Yes,
perfect.
sir.
So,
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
That was that.
And which project is that one, I'm sorry?
This is,
there's Laurel Lane, which is also known as Northeast 124th Street in Keystone.
Yeah.
There's significant flooding toward the easternmost part of that street.
Yes.
So I had just randomly grabbed the $500,000 number at a public town hall that I hosted a few weeks back. I had asked the residents of Laurel Lane to start to advocate to their council members and mayor to get that in the budget.
They did?
Sounds like they maybe reached out to you. I don't know if they reached out to the
Yes.
others, but, you know, it's,
Okay.
there's no easy fix. So see, and I don't want to get off on too much of a tangent, but sea level rise is real, and some folks who live in there, you know, sometimes are having a hard time grasping that. And to replace all of the piping and everything that's in there probably will cost more than $500,000. But, you know, if we get $500,000, $400,000 in the budget to at least start looking at it, right, it's not getting fixed in the next fiscal year.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, we've been in communication with the Public Works Director to
Okay.
get the
In
cost.
reference
So
to
is
the
that
project.
is that a project that has to go through design first and
Right.
then?
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
correct.
So we got to do a study,
Yeah.
design.
And I know,
Yes.
and ensuring that we educate folks, for instance, Northeast 121st, we're finally at the place where we're funding it, but this is something that started in 2020. So it had to
Yes.
go to design, and design cost about $90,000, and then after design, you put it out for bid. And we recently just, you know, allocated that money that was budgeted since '21. So, you know, I know we're putting dollars certain places, but if, you know, if the assessment needs to, happen, we understand that may take some time as well. So just so that those
Yeah.
residents that are being communicated to, but I know with this last flooding event that we recently had, there were certain areas of the city that were really, really hit, like really hard.
Right.
Are we addressing those as well? 'Cause
Yes,
like,
so-
and like, do you guys have them prioritized, just to make sure that the areas, we all know about Northeast Third
Yep.
Court and making sure that that's a priority and so forth, but like, I saw
Yes.
some areas in my district as well, like on Northeast 13th and 130th, when I was out there, that it's literally a bowl, and that water sat out there for weeks. So if there's areas that are really critical, please share that with us as well, so that if we need to, you know, reassess in the next budget hearing, that, by the next budget hearing, I would like to make sure that we do so as well.
Yeah, Councilwoman through the manager, that's part of our stormwater master plan, so we have included a lot of those areas that we had issues with throughout the flooding event that we had months ago, but yeah, it's going to be part of our stormwater master plan.
Thank you. And I see Tom in the back. Welcome back, Tom.
Oh, hey, oh, I didn't see Tom. Hey, Tom.
There.
Welcome back.
And to the point the councilwoman makes, I made that $500,000 amount up
It might be 2 billion, it might not.
No,
Yeah,
but if it's
but-
not realistic for the first fiscal year, don't make yourself go crazy trying to figure out how to do 500 when, you know, it's a process. There are
Correct.
steps. And if 150,000 is more realistic for what can be done in budget
Just for
year
design,
one,
yeah.
right, then let's look for a
It's
way to
just,
come up with
um,
150,000 rather than make yourself. I'm telling you right now, in a room full of residents, I just made the number up. I have no, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, so don't go crazy
Oh, that
trying
was
to
your
come.
number? The number
That
that I
was my
got?
number.
Oh.
No, yeah,
I thought
no,
it was an
and
expert.
so that's the thing. I made that number up and
So-
said, I'm gonna put that number in the budget. And then they probably called you and said, hey, we need that 500,000.
Yes,
But
that
in-
was,
in reality, if the first year is more along the lines of what you've spent on Third Court or, 11th Avenue, 121st, like if 150, and I'm making numbers up. In other words, I don't want you to go crazy coming up
I
with some
got you.
exorbitant amount of money for one street. Because $500,000 on one street is a lot of money.
well, listen, we're
But if-
spending 2
if-
million.
Right,
The quality of life, you know.
Whatever you guys tell me is a realistic number to
This,
proceed with
this is
on
my,
that street.
through you, Madam Manager, and you could direct staff. The money that they requesting is for evaluation, like a study. So again, I don't think the study gonna be that much. So I
But
guess
if you
between
said
now
that
and
there's
next.
a stormwater study, so they technically have it, right?
No, would this be,
Well, I don't know, if, I'm not, I need to find out
Yeah.
if we included Laurel Lane.
This would need to be
So
separate.
This would be,
Trying to-
yeah, this
yes.
would be separate. Yes,
Okay,
Yes,
and
sir.
you could tell us whatever that number, it could be
Okay.
50,000. We just, like he said, once we know the study, then that study will tell us, hey, we need 2 million, like we know for Northeast Third Court, it was 2 million, that 2 point, whatever that we
2.3.
needed.
Yes, sir.
So that would be, we'll address that.
And the need on Third Court and 121st Street is probably greater
Yeah.
than Laurel Lane. Sorry, Laurel Lane. But, we had
So
that
we'll make
20-inch,
sure.
we had that 20-inch rainstorm 2 months ago. I was out there the next morning expecting to see
No, they did
fender
pretty well.
deep water, and it was bone dry.
Yeah, they did
There's
pretty well.
issues related to the canal that's at the end of the street and whether or not it can be open at certain high tide, low tides, and how that affects drainage. So some of the flooding issues they've had are not because our drainage systems are substandard, it's because the rain happened to come at a high tide, so to speak. So there's a lot of, if you
And
guys
maybe
need to have
seawalls
conversations.
and, yeah.
Right, there's a lot of things to be factored into. I just don't want staff to go crazy trying to come up with $500,000 just because Galvin blurted it out of his mouth.
Understood. Thank you, Councilman.
Okay, thank you.
I have a few questions.
Go, reference to Public Works, sir?
Public Works, yes.
Go ahead, sir.
They are like just general question. I'll start with the street administration. So, do we have someone in that position?
For street administration, you
Yes.
said?
Is that a position?
Street administrator, we have a
Street
we have a streets
supervisor?
we have a streets coordinator.
The street coordinator?
Yes,
So-
sir.
So basically, what is the role of that person? What's the function of the duty of that street coordinator?
So the street coordinator is the supervisor, and he has, and I'm approximating probably about 7 or 8 people that work under him. They go out, they repair sidewalks, they do street patches, anything related to, paving or a concrete, our streets coordinator would oversee that.
Oh, thank you. The reason why I'm asking is that I don't know if it is a practice. It's like we give folks, let me refer. We give companies contract in the city for good money. It looks like there's nobody, to me, on the city side who's looking out at what these people are doing. And I have a perfect example, Northwest 10th Avenue, Northwest 11th Street. I don't know if it was like the lowest bid, I don't know whatever it is, but they have something like very cheap on those streets. And up to now, the striping is not done, it's like they just leave it there. And the explanation that I had is like it had to sit for about a month. But I'm looking at Northeast 6th Avenue, They didn't even sit it for for a night. They just paved the street, and then you got the striping and everything looking very neat. And also that'll take me to the traffic circles. So how on earth that we give someone a contract, just cut the piece of the street that you just want to pave, and then the traffic circles just stay in there as a mess that look so bad. So that's the reason why I'm asking, is there anyone, when we issued contract, is there anyone on the city side who just go out there and look for us, look for the city? Because the money, they got the money. Just to me, they basically do whatever they feel like and then pack up and leave. So that's the reason why I'm asking that question.
No problem, Councilman, through the manager. On that particular project, I was able to do my research, and that wasn't part of the contractor scope. So yes, I agree, it should have been paved, but it wasn't part of the contractor scope. So we're in the process of getting quotes now to complete that particular intersection.
Thank you. No, I'm just taking this one as an example, but I'm just trying to see if we can, throughout the city, when we put our money out, should be somebody on the city side looking at what these people are doing so that we get the best service for our money. That's now on the street maintenance.
Councilman, to your
Yes.
point, do we have a contract compliance manager? Because isn't that was part of their facility? Or?
Yes, we have.
Well, no, I think that was for administration.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So we do have a contract compliance manager
Right now?
currently, yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yes. The next one is on street maintenance. I see we have we asked about roughly almost about $600,000 to that number. Just would that?
What page are you on?
I am on page 141. Due to your judgment, would that be enough for us to do a real street maintenance throughout the city? Because last time we had that conversation about that landscaping company and everything, and to me, driving around Solemia looks so nice, neat, and clean. And then as we move out of Solemia, it is like the tale of two cities. And we have one city.
Yes, Solomia pays extra for their.
Yeah, that's my point now. While we're in that budget, is there any way that we can probably add a little more so that we can get more days for the city of North Miami?
Is that 146?
But wait a minute.
We are page 141.
And Councilman, through the manager, the contractual lawn maintenance is actually $320,000. I think what you're referring to is the $555,000 for street maintenance. That's something totally separate. But
that is different?
That's different. Yes. But the lawn maintenance.
320,000? No. Definitely. I would ask.
That's the country bill?
Yeah, I would ask administration to see if we can add more money to that because
Councilman,
we cannot.
That was the item that came before us, and then we direct staff to put it out there.
But I think we have to address it.
No, we have to address it, Mayor. Mr. Mayor, we have to address that.
No, I understand about the cost of the increase, but Madam Manager, so the 332, last year we had approximately, is it the same amount or less? So this is permanent. So we didn't have nothing last, yes, we did. So last year was 198. So this is 322.
But they also moved 289 from parks right-of-ways.
And then the other one is almost 100,000, well, a little bit more than 100,000. The stormwater and construction repair. So is this for the master plan, that item, or this is for the work that needs to be completed outside of the contractor's scope?
I'm sorry, Mayor, which
I'm
number
sorry,
are you referring to?
I'm on page 141.
Mm-hmm.
This is Department 10, Division 450, and this is under activity storm, drain construction, and repair.
I think that's something different. He was on the 32105.
Yeah, it's on the same page.
Oh.
Yeah, it starts with street administration. The street maintenance, we talked about, we needed that to increase And that's everything. And that's citywide. So last year, there was no increase from last year to this year. Really. It's just a couple $1,000s. And then the permanent concrete construction, which went up almost a little bit more than, not really double, but it went up a lot. Last year was 198, 487, and this year is 322, 310. So this is sidewalk, this is,
That's correct.
okay, this is, okay. So what's the difference between I guess the street maintenance is just the maintenance of the street?
Yes,
Is that
so,
where
yes, so
resurfacing is?
when it comes to maintenance, we also do street sweeping, we do repairs, we do sidewalk repairs, curbing, that sort of thing. So it's separate from any kind of landscaping or anything like that. So the landscaping item, that's the one that I was referring to, the contractual lawn maintenance, and that's the 320,000.
Okay, another question. So for resurfacing,
Yes,
where would that be?
that's gas tax, and we have 270,000 for that.
How much was last, we need a little bit more. So, guys, for budget two,
Yes, sir.
ma'am,
Yes, sir.
Madam Manager, we need a little bit more on the street resurfacing. Just putting that, whatever you guys,
Where is it right now?
It's under the.
Right now, street resurfacing is on page
Yeah,
325.
it's way in the back.
325. Is that the only fund source that it could be used? Is it the gas tax or?
You said 325?
For resurfacing right now, capital, we have
Public
270,000.
Works project. No, it's on the gas, Public Works project. So it's $30,000 more this year. This is page 325. I know, but he said that's the resurfacing.
The 270? Oh, it's just one thing.
I know. Well, I guess.
Because I guess it's a special fund.
I guess, I'm assuming.
That's,
So wait, Public
The-
Works.
Mayor, can I just finish, because I was just basically cutting off from that landscaping, and I am not going to leave that alone tonight. Please, we need to find more money, we need to add more money for our landscaping, because this is no, Mayor, it's just at the same number from what I'm seeing in here.
I think we said, I think they
No,
got it.
I was not able to finish. I was just basically cut off, and I have another question or two before I set the mic free from that. For landscaping, Madam Manager, we need to work on that because the number is way too low. We have to do better as a city.
And just to address that, we do have other areas in the budget that address that. So this is not the only source of landscaping funding, and so the budget manager is going to point them out to you now so you can see additional funds.
Okay, so I'll basically, you can just give that to me later, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine, because I just want to see the number, because that is something that I
The
am
number comes
really,
from
really.
585.
585,
Correct. And just so I'm clear, you want how much was allocated for street servicing projects, and you want to know, well, you just got the number.
and on that street resurfacing, I heard the number, but I specifically asked a number for District 4 that I haven't seen anywhere in this budget, so we'll address that later. So please,
Noted.
take a look at that.
Question.
And before you go on, Mr. Mayor, if you allow me
Go
to
ahead.
finish, the right-of-way improvement, who, is that under Public Works? How does that work?
So with right-of-way improvement, yes, it's under us, but we also, we work alongside parks as well, as far as beautification. So there's things that we would do, and then also we'll work alongside parks if it's landscaping at times.
So we kind of work hand in hand to get that done.
Because I would just tell you that there are so many places in District 4 and throughout the city, and I see like overgrown grass and everything. Who's taking care of that? Is that,
That's gonna be, if it's contract, it'll be contracted out, and sometimes we may do some stuff in-house, but most of the time it's gonna be part of our contractual agreement with the vendor.
yeah, my final question on that, commercial corridor improvement, is Northwest 7th Avenue part of our commercial corridor?
What page are you on?
Page 141, Mr. Mayor. Northwest 7th Avenue.
Yes.
Is that one of our commercial corridor?
Yeah, I believe it is. I can get the exact answer for you, but I believe it's part of CRA, if I'm not mistaken, but I can, it's in the CRA boundaries.
Boundaries?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because
Yes.
the reason I'm asking is like the median that they created in Northwest 7th Avenue, if you look at the landscaping, is a whole mess, and that has to be
Councilman, I
addressed.
was
That's the
trying to
reason. That's the reason why
Yeah.
I'm asking, because I need to know. Yes, Mayor, I need to know exactly who to talk to, because we cannot let that happen in our city, anywhere in our city.
Oh, yeah, yes, Vice Mayor, and then I'll.
While he's talking about medium, the mediums that are on 135th Street. So you're talking, at least for me, from North Miami Avenue going east.
That's,
I'd like to see some landscaping there. Are there any dollars?
it's coming, however, that's a state road, that's
Yeah, that's
FDOT,
right.
so we need to coordinate with FDOT. Yeah,
FDOT.
the state.
Correct, but typically, from my understanding, I think somebody's trying to get your attention.
There's a project coming, yeah.
There is a project
Yeah.
coming? Because are we usually responsible to handle the medium? Is that the way it is? Would you mind, I know you're new, is it possible, Jeff, could you answer that question?
Good evening, sorry, Jeff Geimer, Assistant Public Works Director. There's a FDOT project for 135th Street. The construction was Phase 1. The landscaping's coming as part of Phase 2, and that is supposed to start in during FY '25 in the second quarter of 2025.
And in the meantime, who takes care of the grass? Because they have
FDOT.
grass.
FDOT.
So they do?
They don't do a
Yes.
good job. you
Right,
know.
because it was,
Yes.
I mean, I think that there was.
So we were in constant contact with them. They service their state roads approximately 16 times a year.
16 times a year.
So that's every 3 to 4 weeks that they'll cut the grass.
Okay, so are we choosing the landscape? How does that work? 'Cause
So-
so usually when they,
Yeah, they've presented plans to us. We've worked with them on that. They've, presented a landscaping plan to us.
can you share that with us when it happens? Because I just want to make sure, because that happened on 7th Avenue where they had flimsy palm trees or whatever that is
Well,
there.
The problem with Northwest 7th Avenue is there was no irrigation for the project.
Well, I know, and we
130
don't know what happened to it.
135th Street has irrigation.
Oh, it does?
Yes.
And then the south was never, so going back, Councilman, go ahead, Vice
Just
Mayor.
one
once
more
you're done.
question, please. So going back to landscaping again, roundabout, and particularly in District 3, okay?
Yes.
There's some irrigation that needs to be fixed.
So
Around 8th Avenue, 138, 139, the signs are actually traffic signs down.
We'll inspect the signs, but I know the landscaping was just upgraded within the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
On all of those circles north of the school between 6th and Dixie. So
Jeff, in this city?
north of 135th Street from 135 to 143, all the traffic circles between 6th Avenue and Dixie Highway.
You said on 6th Avenue?
Yes, they went in and they filled in any of the missing landscaping. That was just a project
And
completed by our
Yeah,
Parks
because some of
Division.
even the construction around the roundabout was broken, and I think it looks like there must have been a car accident. So you're saying that there's landscaping, the irrigation,
They did landscaping and irrigation improvements within the last 2 weeks.
and lighting as well? Some of them need lighting.
We'll follow up
But
on
okay.
that.
But
You seen it?
I haven't.
Vice Mayor, can I ask a question on, since we're talking about the roundabout in District 3, I think I need to jump on that for District 4.
Well, it's the entire city. That's bad.
My question is that, what is exactly happening? I've been talking about this from day one I started here, to just seeing those traffic circles exactly the same, if not worse, because some of them, one of them got knocked, the power got knocked down by a car, and then you get pieces of concrete all over, and nobody is looking at them. The landscaping is a mess, no flower. They're not taking care of the palm trees. Some of them are dying. What is exactly happening? Because I know, I think last year I got some kind of confused because some of the money were allocated to public works, some to parks. So what is exactly happening? Who's taking care of them traffic circles? Because this is a disaster, if I put it that way.
Yes, Councilman. The maintenance of the traffic circle is maintained by outside contractor. As far as the landscaping upgrades is concerned, that's done by in-house staff. There was a project completed at the beginning of the fiscal year, late October, early November, where we went in and infilled the missing landscaping. We had a projection of 12 projects for this fiscal year in a conjunction.
For this year?
For throughout the city.
For this fiscal year?
For this fiscal year, yes.
And we're on September.
Well, we completed.
I haven't seen anything done in District 4.
We'll forward you photos.
Huh?
We'll forward photos of the circles when they were upgraded
In District 4?
in late October, early November, yes.
In District 4?
Yes.
Okay, I thought that was only me. Okay.
In District 4?
Yeah, you said.
Yes, sir.
Where I live?
He's going to send you district.
Okay, so,
Where my mother lives too, yes.
Yes, exactly, we know.
No, because this is, it's like, go ahead,
To
Mayor.
go back, the same point that you are talking about, it was maybe 3 years ago, I started talking about this, and I said, we got to do something with 7th Avenue. And I was here, we came and we asked, and I remember one budget, they said they didn't have nothing. The city said they didn't have anything. No, I understand, but there was a portion of the money that was already allocated from the city. So we went to the CRA, they said they would be able to fund it, and eventually, Mohammed, the transportation person, so I think they were just to shut me up, they kind of said, we're gonna get something, and I begged them, because I took them, I got in the car, and I took them to Aventura, I said, this is what I want. They said yes, and then we had an issue with FDOT. FDOT said they didn't allow the tree. So I got on the phone, we fought, and Ms. Love knew about this, Debbie Love. So we did that with FDOT, and finally, they agreed, they said, okay, you could put the palm tree. So what we did, we were gonna buy the palm trees. So the palm trees that we wanted, I think it was a little bit too much based on the money. And the same tree that FDOT said that was not allowed, that I fought for them to say, how about they went south of us, they planted all those trees, and then our particular city, once you walked into it on 7th Avenue, it looked so crazy. It was so upsetting. I'm like, FDOT stole our idea. They said it wasn't, but their trees, though, are very, very nice from 111, maybe all the way down, up to 119. And then as you get to 119, which was supposed to have the irrigation system, we wanted it to look so good. And that was it. So that's the story.
Just one more point on Northwest 7th Avenue. We need to know exactly who's doing what for the city of North Miami. Because every time I drive by Northwest 7th Avenue looking at the median, it's like I feel so powerless. As a councilman, when people are asking you why this is like this, you go in here, it is not the city, it is the CIA, it's not the CIA, it's the county, so you don't know exactly who to talk to. Because those are the kind of, you might see it like as little as not, but those are very important.
Councilman, if I could, I believe those,
Taken away from the beauty of the city. You
I
understand?
believe those medians are maintained by FDOT. if I'm
No,
not-
well, no, not 7th, because we fought FDOT so that we assumed we would do a better job because of what they did, the horrible thing they did on 119. And they did give us permission, but we felt our own stuff. I'm telling you, south of you see how nice.
Exactly. On the other side is very nice. The side of the county is very nice, and our side is a mess.
Mr. Councilman, your administration is your to-go person. Unless you stay and fight them, you just have to do that to to get it done, but they could get it done. And if they can't, they'll put you in touch with FDOT and they'll do it. It was just, I thought they were gonna go back and put nice plants in the irrigation system there, but that never happened. But that's a whole different story.
And lastly, Mr. Mayor, on the traffic circle,
Oh, God.
you remember that Mayor had to go all the way to Aventura and then look at the model for Northwest 7th Avenue. On the traffic circle, we don't have to. We have one in District 4, 121st Street and Northwest 16th Avenue, the new one. It looks so nice. Very nice, irrigation and everything, nice. You know, every time I stop by, I just park my car and then stand there for a little bit. That's what we need to do. We can do it. We have our own model that we can follow, but we need to get the work done. We have the money in the budget, but we are not using that money to that end. We're on September. We have money in the budget for those traffic circles. Nothing has been done. So we just sit down and looking at it, and then next year is going to be the same thing and over and over and over again. We cannot keep on doing that. So please, 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 we are on September. I am asking that we do something with them traffic circles, and please do them now because this
Councilman,
is.
you have to
this-
demand
yes.
it with them. You have to demand and
Yes,
say, I need
yes,
this
do it
and
now.
give dates.
Please.
Because if you don't give
And
dates,
just-
it's gonna go
Yeah.
for another 2 years. So give dates that you want this by this time.
Listen, Mayor, I think you are exactly right. That's what we need to do. Put emails and then ask for a set of date because this is unacceptable.
And I've been very good this year. I
This is
haven't asked for
unacceptable.
much,
Please.
too much because I just go around the whole city and trying to support as much as I can, council here.
Right.
But when you get it from the residents, it's a fight, but
Yeah.
we could get it. Go ahead, Vice
So
Mayor.
I have a question for the utility box covering. So if you notice, some of the covering, I think the CRA did some of the covering. I just wanted to make sure that we have money to do the utility box covering for the ones that are not within our city. So, question: is there monies in our budget for Public Works to make sure that we wrap up the utility box?
There,
There
if I
isn't.
will, there are no utility box covering funding in the general fund budget, no.
Yeah, so I definitely would like to request that we have that.
So that we could move on, we're not here all night. City Hall improvement, it went up 100,000. Can we elaborate?
Isn't that the finance officer?
Page 50, I'm sorry, 150. And guys, please do your best before this is final, because it's so mind-boggling. We're saying we're not using CPND, and then we have another department, whatever that department may call, and yet you're going throughout the entire budget, it's referenced back to CPND. So please make sure we clean that up. And the same thing, it's like over 10 years, you just go and copy from last year's summary, nobody proof it, and then that's just it. Because that's exactly the same wording from last year, and that's what happened. Nobody sat around and kind of proved this because it's CPND no more, but it's throughout the entire document. So we gotta be consistent and make sure it makes sense. So the City Hall improvement.
City Hall improvements for fiscal year '25 include the second floor. You have the 40-year.
Yeah. Is it on?
Mike?
Okay, go ahead.
We have improvements to the second and third floor, along with 40-year recertification improvements.
All right, I just wanted to know, I see the money jumped up real.
Mayor, I have a
Yes,
small
sir.
question.
Go on.
Back on page 148.
Uh-oh, we going back.
Account 312, we have trash containers. Is that just for Public Works, or we're talking about, because I know there was an effort for us to order some more containers for the city, and especially our parks and streets and everything. So is that trash container, is that just for relating to Public Works?
Yes, that's just related to Public Works.
Public Works. And I see Well, the trash container, I see $2,000, and then the doggy bags, see, about $6,500. So we got more problem with the doggies than our trash.
I specifically asked that question 2 days ago. I was amazed when I saw that bill.
Yeah,
Yes,
because- yeah.
we go through
Because
doggy bags.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yes, sir.
Do we give it to the residents, or is us picking?
We
it
have
up?
doggy poop
Station,
stations.
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
And we have to
Yeah,
refill
exactly.
them.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
okay.
Yeah.
So we need more money for bags and containers?
Yeah, we have the containers, we just have to refill them, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There's
Okay, thank you.
Another one in Public Works. So with the street resurfacing, you guys gonna give us in the change memo, the increase later? You guys will work it out? Okay. There was another one. in
The only thing
Public
that I
Works
would like to
recently.
see in Public Works is additional funding for lighting. Have you guys done like a lighting assessment in areas that are dark, need additional lighting? That's something that I know that my residents have been asking for.
Councilwoman, through the manager, we typically work with FPL. We can go out and look at lights, but, you know, we don't own most of the lights in the city, but the ones that we do own, we do try to assess them and repair them when needed, but we do work with FPL on upgrading lights.
On that topic, Mayor, if I may,
Yes, sir.
just a follow-up. Northwest 135th Street, I think on both sides of the one-way, all of them lights, the big poles, all of them are out. And we have a lot of.
I reported that to FPL. Hold on.
Okay.
I'll send to the city manager the recent
Communication?
communication I had, because I can't send it to you directly, but
Yeah.
I even pointed that out to FPL. It's dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark.
I reported that to FPL, and then we're still like waiting and waiting. It's been like 2 months. It's pitch black,
In,
pitch black.
in the last one before we finish, Madam Manager, I saw, okay, page 148. This is the street team, the clean team, right? Is there, so it's on page 148, is the amount, went up to 15 an hour with them? Hello?
The clean
The
team?
clean
The
team?
clean team.
Is it on, is this what's under them?
Manager, the clean
That's
team
not
is,
public
right,
works.
correct.
Okay,
That's NSD.
okay, so when we get to NSD, okay.
Oh, I see
All
what
right,
you-
so we good?
And I'm correcting myself right now, Councilman, I'm sorry. The most recent info I had was with FDOT getting the medians trimmed on 135th Biscayne to I-95. My last email to FP&L over the lights is a year ago.
Oh,
So
okay.
So they've been out for a year ago.
Addis?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Addis.
Addis, yeah, she usually, okay,
Yeah, so I'm not gonna,
yes.
but those lights have been out for a year.
So we can.
No, they,
can you follow up?
no,
follow up? You did?
I-
And she responded, right? She's usually good on it. Stephen from
So,
who?
Steven, Marcellus?
No, we know,
We
we
know.
saying, did Addis, who gave you, who's Stephen, from us or from? How would Stephen,
probably have to have you on the
yes,
microphone.
please, yeah. You gotta say who you are and your title.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City Administration, Fela Delika, Deputy Chief of Staff for Mayor and Council's Office. We did have a resident that inquired about that same light issue, and I reached out to Stephen because this is a conversation that's been going for a while, Stephen Marcellus. And so it is a FP&L light, but there is a conversation that the county gave them, they got privileges from the county. So we've reached out to them and inquired about it, and it's still kind of a standstill figuring out who exactly is responsible for that light pole.
They are.
It's multiple light poles.
Multiple.
Yes,
Stretch.
so I have, yes, it's, I can't remember the resident's name, but we've been going back and forth for weeks in regards to this, try to get a resolution, but we're still trying to inquire who's actually responsible for addressing the light issue.
It's FP&L. Again, how did Stephen get in there? I thought he's transportation.
He's our transportation manager, but
Yeah.
he's just our liaison between us and FPL.
No, we
Yeah.
have an intergovernmental person that's very responsive, so that's why I've asked you to send it to Addis, and Addis, within a day or two, she normally will, you know.
I will follow up with Akira because she was also engaged in the conversation as well, and I have to go back to the meeting.
Can you, I'm asking you to contact Addis on
Okay,
on our
will do.
behalf. Yes, thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
No, just just want to clarify that. Last year, it was in February, I did a complete analysis of District 4 lights that were out. I reported about 184 street lights, and I sat in front of a computer just right there in City Hall and put them one by one, because you have to have either the address or the tag that is on the pole. I did all that in 2 nights, and including the street lights on 135th Street and Ovaluca Boulevard. They came on, not for too long, and then went dark again. So it is something, when I inputted them and FPNL did not even respond, I think they said it's the county. So I think we talked to, who that? That's, I forget her name, said it's the county, and then trying to, it's just like, you don't even know who to talk to at this point, because, and it is so not, it is a safety, it is a safety issue at that point, because it's like pitch black over there, so.
If you can get in touch with Ms. Addis from FPNL and maybe arrange a meeting with all of our council, because I know she has been, you haven't met her?
No.
She's pretty, yes, so that's something that we could do, and she's very good with the emails. I don't know about the follow-up if they do, but she will reply and say, I'm on it, I got it, and we do what we do, so.
Yes, Mayor.
Thank you so very much. So, our favorite department, certainly one of mine, Christine. Take all of our money after the police.
Thank you, Mr. Director, I just want to say thank you, and then for the record, I just want to tell everybody that you are a proud graduate of Miami Central Senior High. Working for life.
Okay, we'll forgive that, Scott. We'll pioneer, we'll forgive you. That's okay.
I know.
Okay. You guys always going up, Christine, so how much money did y'all going up this year?
Actually, we've gone down a little bit, not up compared to last year. But last year, we had some big ticket items for Project Park improvements. So that took some of the money away. There are some positions that are not brand new. Some of the positions that we have, like our parks supervisor, which you all know as Roger, he was part-time. He is officially going to retire. So we're bringing that.
Part-time?
Yep. He retired and he came on part-time, so he's going back.
He came back. Okay.
Yes, so he's now going to be fully retired.
Got it.
We also have some positions that were reclassified, so that new positions were retitled, or new title, like our admin specialist, that was a rec leader at one point in time. And then we are asking for some positions to come back to pre-COVID times within our parks maintenance staff. So you'll see some of those. But
And those are the folks that are cleaning the parks? I remember you only had one.
Yeah, maintenance, park maintenance, not part of the recreation aspect side of it. So we're trying to introduce them coming back to be some of the ones that we've lost to help with the services that we provide.
All right. And the big one, the buses for Parks and Rec.
I apologize, I didn't say my name, Christine Carney, Parks and Recreation Director. Sorry about that. Yes, it is a request. That's something that we've worked with transportation. I don't know if it's 100% going to get all 2 of them, but I think we're trying to get one.
We need to get one. No, we need to get one.
This is the bus for summer
Miss
camp?
Christine, yes, we
Yeah.
need to get one.
This is not in this budget?
It is, right?
I hope it is. As
Okay,
much as
well,
budget's
in that
working
case,
out.
Madam Manager, we need to put the 2 in this budget, because it's from, I told you, I started working with the city
Yes.
at 16.
It is the same
And now I'm
bus.
46, and it's the same bus.
Yes,
And
you're correct.
It's a shame.
You're correct, and it is
Breaking down on the
reliable,
kids
but
No,
during summer
it's
camps,
horrible. We
no.
can't.
it's summer
Yeah.
camp and after school.
With all of the things,
They could take freebie.
that's another question.
They need more cars.
They need more, that's another, I know, that's
Yeah,
another.
The trolley, I
open
think
up-
the trolley would be better.
The trolley, there you go.
can fit 'em all at one
No,
time.
but seriously, when we talk about
true.
the equity, what's in there for the residents, this has to happen this year. So I don't care if we have to put people off and do what we gotta do,
Roll it
we gotta
back.
take care of the kids. And that's something that we gotta get these new buses. If that's the last thing I do, that we have to do. And I haven't asked for nothing in here. And I'm just looking, well, not yet, but I'm just saying. But the bus, please, I thought it
Okay.
was at least one, because Anisha was, that was the seniors bus.
Right,
Yeah,
that was the
senior
senior
Thank
bus.
God.
We were also looking at some grants and things like that that we could try to apply for,
We
but we
just-
haven't
Make sure
gotten
you
it.
guys get a bus. 'cause that's-
Please, yes,
no.
yes, put that in that budget, we have to.
one bus?
And Miss Margaret, she was there when I started working there, I went to summer camp, and the kids were like, Mr. Mayor, that's the bus. I said,
No,
"Oh,
when I
no."
did the weekly summer trips with the kids, we went to the zoo and
On
the,
that bus?
and the bus, no AC
no.
breaking down. I'm like, no, we gotta do better.
Oh,
No, ma'am.
Jesus.
No, ma'am.
That's not good.
We need only one.
And Kristen, you got all the money, so you good, we got in the bus.
Right, so I'd like to see a targeted youth program from age 12 to 16 at Griffin Center. And I'd like to also see a senior program in the, when I say senior program, senior activity, for example. Right.
There was-
So that's that. I've not seen Buccaneer Park, so I just want to make sure, are there dollars to maintain Buccaneer Park?
Yes, it's not its own budget. I know you see a lot of, like, you see Keystone Park, or you've
Right.
seen one more that have facilities, that's more of a linear park. It's not its standalone, but yes, it's funded within the budget.
Okay, and then, one second, Mayor, and then also Christmas lights.
Oh, yeah.
I would, where's the budget, and how much, what's the budget for Christmas light? I'd like to make sure that our.
It is what it, Roy.
No, you good, go ahead, go ahead, Roy.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, so last year,
Yeah.
you guys took away my Christmas lights and put it elsewhere. I'm not going to say anything.
No, I had my
No.
money in the budget, don't even look at me.
He actually
And
funded
then
his own.
the other part of the light, that was my
Yeah,
own,
he funded
that was
his
my own funding source. That has nothing to do with the city of North Miami. No.
He did fund his own.
Don't just throw the tree on me now.
It's
So-
on page 228 for Christmas lighting. Yeah, I like to.
Right,
yeah.
right. So I just want to make sure
Including
that,
area.
This is,
I think
It should be a lot bigger than what it has been in the past. Last year, I can tell you, last year, it's expensive. It's not something, what we get is, I know it looks very minimal, but it is not cheap. It's not something that we can find that's an easy, one small dollar amount. I know what you've shared, you got both, I've had District 3 and 4 share with me kind of ideas of what they're looking for. And, sorry?
I said District 2 is coming.
Okay. So that level, we're gonna have to increase a little bit more.
right, and so also, I just want to make sure in preparation for our centennial, I think it's really, really, really important that we start getting ready for that.
Yes.
FIFA,
Yes.
all of those things, and, because it will bring excitement to the city.
Yes.
It-
That is in the
hopefully
works. We're planning for
Trickle down to,
the centennial.
And on,
right, so that our
on,
small businesses can benefit from that. So I just want to make
Ma-
sure.
Mayor, on Christmas lights, I have a point. Just, Christine, last year, even though we had the money budgeted, them Christmas lights, they came very, 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 very late, almost on Christmas Eve. And then they just basically did from Northwest, I would say, Northwest 8th Avenue to Northwest 12th Avenue. That was 8. And we were like aiming from Northwest 7th Ave to 17th Avenue on 127th Street. And again, Christmas starts just right after Thanksgiving. Putting them lights so late is like we're wasting of money that has no effect. You understand? So that is something we need to plan on, because it's like I had to call like 20 times before we finally get a few here and there. And so that's something we need to make sure that we get that. And of course, I asked for some more money so that I can do Pepper Park, that I don't have to find different source to do Pepper Park, even though Vice Mayor was pointing fingers at me.
I didn't point any fingers, I just looked. But, to Councilman Pierre-Charles' point, I think right after Halloween, lights need to go up.
You're correct. It is a contract. There are things that last year was a feat in itself. We had multiple contractors, vendors doing the work because of the request coming in later. So some people have these contracts for 5 to 10 years, and they last, they last for 5 to 10 years. So we don't have that right now. We did in the past, but it was just central part of the city and the library, and that was it. So it was City Hall and the library. So that contract renewed. Once that expired, we did not renew it. We've now expanded the services and the wants and needs to different areas, which wasn't in the past. So
And now
last year
that-
was it was a little different than the way that it has been in the past.
And now that
So
City
this
Hall
year
will
it's not going
change
to be
because
that
we don't
way,
have those palm trees anymore.
Yeah, yes, correct.
But we can do something else to kind of bring up, bring the lighting to the plaza.
Correct, and yes, we can, as the funds are allocated for it, we could do what we can with the funds that is allocated.
Christine, quick question, and please remind me after the meeting, I have a question for you offline. But last year, I brought this up, and I saw that it wasn't addressed in this year's budget. Pepper Park still have a part-time person, and I had two residents who came to me. You could tell how dirty it is, the maintenance of it, the people who are walking, that I think we did address the lighting at some, I'm assuming?
The lights, yes, correct. the
So,
lights have been
going
fixed.
back to that, so why is a part-time person that's there?
So the full-time person that is there is just not in the Pepper Park account. He is actually budgeted in our recreation administration. So there is a full-time employee
okay.
there.
So
He's just not budgeted under under Pepper Park.
Okay.
The part-time that you see,
I
see
get
are
it now.
part-timers that.
No, that's fine, you answered the question, so it is full, okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir,
I have a follow-up on that one.
yes.
We wouldn't have to talk about it in here if and only if that staff basically follow directions from council. Last year, in the budget, we have $100,000 for Pepper Park to resurface the east side parking lot and then do some improvements in the park. That was not spent because of Redwood that is coming up. In June, I directed staff to find a landscaping company because we had so many complaints about the park. And it is like one of the parks that mostly everybody use just around the clock. 9 o'clock, you see people still walking around. I asked them to take up the landscaping and put some mulch and then make it look like a normal park. And also the walkways, I asked them to, what was it, John?
Pressure wash.
Pressure wash the parking lot and the walkway because we have the money. The money is sitting there. The money is for Pepper Park. And then we're at the end of the budget year. So now we're in September. Still, that has not been done. So those are the things that we can do. We don't need to bring them in here because if we just follow direction and do what we're supposed to do, because the money is not the money that you're gonna try to allocate somewhere. The money is there for Pepper Park. Please do that and then have somebody keep maintaining the park, for some time so that it looks very decent. That's the conversation that we have, and over, and I've been waiting. And about 2 weeks ago, I had another meeting just about that, addressing Pepper Park, and then still waiting and waiting. So those are the things that we need to make sure that we get this thing moved because our residents are looking, our residents are complaining, and then when I come and ask for something, it's because I have enough. I have a lot of residents who are asking just that. We need to clean up Pepper Park. We know you guys been doing a lot. I'm not gonna take that away from you. It looks a lot better than before. I've seen the improvement, but we need to do a massive cleanup at Pepper Park and get it done because the money is there. Let's just do just that, and then we call it the day, please. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you so much. And to keep going so that we're not here all night, thank you, Ms. Carney. I think we've done with non-departmental.
I have a few questions about Sassopool and
well,
other
this is the
things
time.
on
Let's go
park.
for
So
it. Sorry, Christine.
now quickly, Christine, Sassopool, is Sassopool been fully open, or we still on that COVID schedule?
We're not on COVID schedule. We are closed on Mondays. Mondays is for maintenance, but we are open for water aerobics on Mondays only. But we're open Tuesday through Saturday, I'm sorry, not
Monday, so Tuesday through Saturday and Sunday.
And Sunday.
Not Monday.
And it's fully open to the residents?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Now, the kids' pool,
The water
the
playground.
water, yeah, that has been down for the longest.
It has, we have a lot of aging infrastructure, pumps, the pump room itself, and things that have been needing to get fixed. We are working, they're like getting done. We are working on getting them done. As things don't work, if their water's not pumping and moving, it deteriorates the paint and things like that. So we have to repaint the water playground in order to make sure that it's not slippery for the kids to come in, now that the pumps have been fixed, so that it can actually work. So it's a lot of things going on at Sasso Pool. Sasso Pool is very old. A lot.
I learned to swim there.
I know. And I know there are things that need to get done to it. It's the pumps themselves and the pool itself is having a lot of problems. So we're trying to get those things done before we move on to the other things, because those things get to be very, very pricey.
Does that dollar amount reflected in this budget?
Yes, yes.
So
We even have some money
we can say
left.
by around December or November, we're gonna have that fixed?
Yes, we still.
That's something
and-
that I can start telling the residents who are asking me every day?
Correct,
Right.
yes.
Okay, very good. And then I'll say, for Sasso Pool, I'll say thank you for the Christmas lights last year. We need some more this year. So just a reminder, thank you. Quickly before I close, looking at on page 187. I'm sorry, man. 180, page 187. I'm just looking at the dollar amount between the two tennis courts. Why is that such a big discrepancy?
So can you tell me what division it is?
That
Mine is
is,
not the same as yours.
Let me see.
At the top, it says Pepper Park or
that
Penny
is-
Sugarman?
Yeah, Sugarman Tennis
Sugarman
versus
Tennis
Pepper.
versus Pepper Park. Why is that big discrepancy?
Well, right now, we have a contract services out at Pepper Park. Nomi Tennis is the contracted service. So we don't pay for staffing there, and they also have to do maintenance out there. Penny Sugarman or Sans Souci Tennis Center, depending on what you call it, who calls it what, that one is staffed by us and maintained by us.
But let me ask you this with Pepper Park. Is Pepper Park open to the residents
Yes.
of the city? And because I barely see, it's like people from different places just using that park, and maybe our residents don't know that they can come and.
It is open to the city. If anyone hears anything different, I definitely will address that. I'm not sure about who plays and who wants to play, but it's open to anyone. It's even open to people that are, non-residents. They just pay a different fee.
Thank you. Venice and Serena Delgado, which is trying to produce some more, some more good athletes in the tennis. Something
agreed.
like so. Just
Yes.
okay. All right, that's about it.
Answer?
Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you so very much. Non-departmental, I just have one question. I know my colleagues and then Vice Mayor will take over. The civic grants, what are those? The SUP, the supplemental, I guess, on page 243.
They're listed in page 246.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's the supportive, I see that. Okay, makes sense, never mind. Okay, got it. All right, so the next one, Vice Mayor, you could take over. I'm going to, is Mocha. And Mocha's good, right? We did not decrease anything.
We actually increased MOCA.
Okay, good, okay, then let's move on. We good. So you good, Shauna? Okay, neighborhood services, there you go.
Yeah. All right. Any questions on neighborhood services?
No?
Yes, I was just, well, if you guys have no questions, I do actually.
Neighborhood services, go.
Yeah, so I have questions on that. Clean team. I'd like to know, how many people do we have on our clean team?
Lazaro Ramon, Neighborhood Services Director. Good evening, Mayor, council and city administration. We have 13 at the moment, ma'am.
So if there's a complaint that I get citywide is that, and I know the efforts that the clean team makes, that we are, that we need to be a little bit more clean. Do we need more staff? One, and two, is there a way that we can operate where we are getting almost a 24-hour service, where we have different shifts, so that the city can maintain its cleanliness?
Correct. It's a twofold. They are part-time. I'm never going to say no to more staff because that translates into service to the residents, which is what we want to do. Of course, outside the box thinking, I think that's a very novel idea of having a shift set up like that. It will take a bit of brain power. It's something that we could entertain. As a matter of fact, in hearing in conversations, we did look at places. I know it's very important when we look in other places and we find out, hey, they've been working this 24-hour stuff. It's a bit novel for me, but I thought that it was a great thought. So I do see an expansion in that. And if given the opportunity to have more boots on the ground, which I think is absolutely necessary when it comes to cleanliness, I'm definitely not going to say no and say, hey, give us the help, because it just translates to the residents.
I have a question for neighborhood services. So I know last year we went from 14 to 16, you added 2, and then again, you're going from 16 to 18. Where are we adding? Are we adding more code officers?
Okay. Councilwoman Timothy, I can answer that for you. Actually, the increase comes, when I came to the department, it was just neighborhood services. It was code compliance, correct? When it was code compliance, we did not have the reoccupancy inspections, we didn't have the certificate of use inspections, and we didn't have the augmented program with an inspector that's certified for business tax receipt to work with DSD. In that transition, we acquired one position that came from the building department. Because of that, in addition, as the chief said, we've been working closely together in the transition from the animal services department. The beauty of that is the multi-approach training that we're taking to these inspectors, why we've kept them as neighborhood services inspectors, and added the certification as they come to have a more holistic officer instead of reaching out to other municipalities or the county for help. We're actually training, inclusive the animal services inspector, to get certified as a code officer as well, to be able to provide multiple services with one position. So those are where the FTE count comes up.
So do you have positions still that's coming out of building from their enterprise, or is it?
They're coming, we acquired it through them. I'm not exactly sure, but I do know that we did acquire a position, and that accounts for the extra inspector that's here.
So this is for staff, finance staff. There's none that's coming out of building or a special fund, or do they have other?
Correct.
There's none? Okay.
Vice Mayor, may I?
Oh, absolutely, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Just want to start by saying thank you. Neighborhood Services Code, you guys been on the street, hard work, always responsive. One thing that I gonna, before I get to that, the clean team, I think the clean team is helping a lot. Absolutely. Very, very, even though I have some concern about the clean team, and I will address them at a later time, but the clean team is helping a lot. It's helping a lot. And we, as Vice Mayor said, if we look to add some personnel into that, I think they would help a lot, given the fact that we have to fight with waste every day just to do what they're supposed to do. On the code or neighborhood services, do we have any service for on the holidays? Anyone looking out?
Well, at the moment, one of the advantages is, one, the director's always in North Miami, regardless. So as everyone here that I've dealt with and my colleagues, if you call me, we'll be available. As far as manning, we do like our inspectors to be with their families for days, these holidays.
The reason why I'm saying that, even though we as a governing body in here, make it a lot easier for our residents to come in here and follow the legal process to do an add-on and everything. We have a lot of illegal construction going on, especially on my side in District 4. A lot. And, residents calling and complaining about it and everything. And most of the time they happen on weekends and also on holidays. So we need to be more vigilant because it is not fair to the person next door that, fighting to make ends meet, and then somebody just adding a whole new apartment and, renting it and, making more money. I'm okay with it if you go to the legal process and get it done, and that is an understanding. So to that end, I think we need to keep our eyes open because a lot going on in the city, but I'll speak more into District 4 because I am on the street all the time.
That's been noted, Councilman. We have augmented our coverage even on holidays. We have a couple of holidays and budgeted where we do have inspectors on call. For instance, something like July 4th, January 31st, we do have on call for those type of situations. In addition, we do have inspectors that are available full-time, and it's one of the reasons that we've been able to respond on the weekends to many other calls, is we have an average of 2 to 3 inspectors that are on Saturday and Sunday to address any of those concerns. In terms of the illegal construction, I'll make sure that's been noted, and I'll make sure to go over this with my staff, and I assure you an improvement in that type of coverage.
The last point is about them steel fence. You know exactly the one that I'm talking about.
Yes,
you will
sir.
see like a whole block on the street just barricaded by a black steel fence that looks so bad. It doesn't look like the city of North Miami yet. I had a conversation with staff about that and asking to push the brake, but just to see that they just keep on going and going. I know that's probably not you, but and also most of them are like being put on Saturday and Sunday. So that is something we need to keep our eyes open because at this point we just look like a different city, not the city of North Miami. So we just look like a different city with them steel fence that basically everybody just want to block everything. So we need to be cognizant of that and then make sure that these people that steel fence, if that was up to me, we'll just ban them all together in the city of North Miami because they're ugly. Seriously, they're ugly. They don't bring any beauty to the city. So basically, those two things, illegal constructions is up, and then those crazy fencing is like putting us in a place that we definitely don't want to be. With all that, as I started, I'll say thank you. Thank you for all your hard work because you've been always responsive to our residents' call and everything. So thank you. We'll keep it that way.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council Member. Sir, thank you. Yes, and to echo that, I must say, over the last decade or so, and I know Galvin as our senior person in here, you have been one of the, not senior in that way, Scott, but years of service. I think you have 25 and you have 10, 6, whatever. But you have been one of the best in terms of that department with constituent services. It could be Saturday, Sunday, and I think the councilman mentioned that. So we do appreciate that, and we're going to say thank you to
Mayor.
you. I know, Vice Mayor, we mentioned about a little thing for the clean team. Are they getting 15 an hour?
Yeah, there was an increase, yeah. I think they're at 15 and 17 depending on their duties.
Awesome. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much. So, council members, so that we are not here, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So we are not here for the entire night.
You keep saying that, but then like half hour later, we're still going.
Well, it's not me. I said I had some questions. There's some people who said they didn't, but we gotta do it like that real quick. But we going pretty fast because MOCA is good, and we already talked about neighborhood services, which was the big one.
Library's nice.
The other big one in purchasing, Alberto, you always good. So unless you sneak something in here, we don't. So Alberto is good.
The library.
Library. Paul, do you have all the money?
No, the library's
They
near and dear
don't?
to me. Where's the library?
I know. It's after. So let's do.
Do we include
Madam
more money for
Manager,
books?
This is the other
Where are
thing,
the friends
Councilman
at? They're
Galvin.
not here advocating
It's
today?
confusing, because we said, and that's why I need some explanation from you, Ms. Reyes, we had said that there's no more CPND, we created that, what the department called? The CPND.
That's a typo, what you're looking at. I know, yeah.
Okay, so we ain't going there, okay, it's a typo, okay. The page 280. Okay, so that's a typo. So housing.
No, I'm at library.
Oh, I thought
Trying
it's
to skip.
after.
No, they were after CPND.
No.
It's because we don't have
262.
tabs on these books.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I'm
I
sorry.
had tabs.
We couldn't even print.
I know,
We
but
had to
I could have
go
gave us
outside
some
the
tabs. I could have put it with
263?
hands, like dividers.
Paul, this
Could've
is
went
2
with-
pages.
Please.
This is 2 pages for library. We messing with you, okay.
Do you guys have enough for books?
Yeah.
And since we're doing a playground at the library, do we need to do we ensure that we budgeted for maintenance of the playground in the library? Or is that gonna be in Parks and Rec? Where does that go?
Paul Bazile, Library Director. As far as the maintenance, that would be a Parks and Recreation question.
Okay, so that is you, Christine? Okay, and you guys budgeted for that, the additional cost? Or you will? Thank you.
And then we have books. The reason that I skip you is because you actually negative in things, so which is good. It's,
How you guys came down?
8.4. I don't know, but he put it. So you good with the books, right?
We're good with the books, yes.
So
The reduction is because we had a personnel change. Somebody from the library went over.
Listen, we're not asking if it's less,
Yeah.
so if it's more. Yes, so we good. Thank you, sir.
I'll come up with the look. No,
You're
what about
there.
our field trip for our kids? Is that in this budget?
That you could work on with them,
I know,
Councilwoman.
I'm just making sure, because the
Now,
library
put that in
is,
there with them when you meet
we'll
with them.
talk about it. Thank you.
Purchasing, we okay. Housing. I know you're trying to hide back there, but, Albert, come on over. We good? You got our seniors, make sure you got our money.
Wait, economic development before we go into housing.
We already talked about
No,
that.
I just want to make sure.
No, it was purchasing, I think it's after.
It's
It's after
279?
housing. It's
After
after
housing?
housing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, housing, Albert,
We don't have tabs.
we don't have to have, oh, the tabs we don't have.
No, we don't have tabs.
So you increased 25%, so what's going on?
That's a lot going on. Finally, we are fully staffed, so that's one line item, I believe. What we did also, we are,
I think you're talking to the mic in here.
the senior program is back to pre-pandemic.
Good.
So, and with the increase in cost, so what we were paying for food, for field trip, we have a big increase in this area. And what we did, we separate them, we have different section instead of having the bulk. So we break down the cost for senior programming. I don't know what page it is for you.
It's 274.
Yeah, so if you see here, we have the meal, the program, the instructor, the
Field trip, everything is in here.
Everything is in there.
278, okay.
And then I'm having a little issue because if you look at now the pantry, we're not gonna
Jesus.
make it with the $180,000.
Okay, but wait a minute. We, Madam Manager, this is important. The agreement that we had with Waste Pro, the money that they give every year, and then now we have the new agreement with Redwood. They were supposed to give us at least two, so how much would you need? Or how much do you need?
There is a, how you call that, a supplemental that I requested.
Okay, it's in here, under
It's-
supplemental.
We need at least to have 2 distribution per month.
No, I know what's the amount. ma'am.
256,320.
So between the Waste Pro contribution and now the Redwood, wouldn't that help out, John, or somebody with administration? Because I know we get a check from Waste Pro.
We'll have to research that and get back to
Okay.
you.
We do get a check from Waste Row.
Yeah, and I think the pantry is one that is,
The benefit is total $538,000, and that's
so you don't
$50,000.
get no money from that?
I got 180,000. I don't know if the 50,000 is
No,
part
no,
of
this
the-
is money that, like, a vendor is giving to us.
Yeah.
Okay.
So shouldn't that be a conversation that you have with the
Mhm.
manager?
Yeah.
As opposed to coming up here and?
They're asking me question concerning, I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, so, so you guys will work on the waste pro allocation. And then the summer camp, the mentoring program that Councilwoman, so the 25 is good.
Yeah, it's LIT
Yes,
and partially
we got you.
YUB as well.
Got it, okay. So the money from the food pantry, we will try to see.
Exactly, that's where
within the
we'll
next
be.
2 weeks. But I know Redwood is supposed to give us $1 million, and from that million, they were supposed to give increment of it, so maybe, we could get one before then, and then we'll try to get a commitment and see where we are.
That's the only area of concern. Other than that, everything is good.
Okay, in the companion program, you say it's funded?
Yes, it's
Okay,
in there.
perfect. Okay, Madam Vice Mayor,
we
282 is all yours.
282, so economic development. So I just want to make sure that for economic development, that we are
What page is it?
a part of the
Two-
Greater
280.
Chamber of Commerce. Oh, that we have a membership there. I don't see anything here.
That,
For the Greater Chamber of Commerce, for the Beacon
Vice Mayor,
Council.
that item's gonna come before you at the next
In the chamber.
council meeting, September
Let me
24th.
say
Wait,
that.
You're talking about Beacon Council, but I'm talking about Greater Chamber of Commerce as well.
Let me say this, Madam Vice Mayor, the Beacon Council thing, we're gonna make a big deal about it, because those people are asking us $1 per resident, and they are the Beacon Council, they need to be giving us money. And I'm like, why are you there? Why would we give you $63,000? For what? I mean, they supposed to be helping us get jobs, I think the county, whatever, and we don't get nothing from the county. And that's a conversation I'm gonna have with Ms. Scott. Yeah, they want the membership, their membership is hired $1 per, I said, what?
So, Mayor, this is a,
Yeah, we don't, it's not
Zero.
there.
It's not a
Zero,
membership.
zero.
I
It's,
know.
Zero.
It's not a membership, but go ahead, John, and explain
No,
it
no,
to him.
tell us. What is
so
it?
this is a different service that the Miami-Dade Beacon Council has been offering to municipalities. It's an enhanced service. I believe they started it sometime last year. So they've been reaching out to different municipalities to see if municipalities want to participate. So there is an item.
And what is the
In
service?
what? What is the service?
The service is to provide economic development support with helping each of the cities to identify data
No,
that's
that's their
specific to
job.
the cities.
That is their job. That's why the county, I mean, they essentially said, we don't need you, because whoever's the economic director, that's their job. And if the money was like 15,000, like we pay maybe, but.
Mr. Mayor, I think
Yes.
perhaps you should just read it and understand
Read
it
what?
first.
The $1 per resident?
No, I
There's
can
more.
provide the information to you. I could give you the
How much
background.
is their membership fee?
It's $1 per resident. It's based off
so
of the
what-
size of your
okay.
population.
That, I will make sure that cannot, the city of North Miami, and I'm putting on the record, we cannot do that. They need to be giving us money. Because,
And I think that you need to be, well, I'll let administration inform you, because I have a
please.
feeling you do not understand. I believe it will be a benefit to our city.
what would
and
be,
in the-
Madam
the-
Vice Mayor, $1
I'll let
thing?
the
What is
administration
it that they're gonna
inform you.
do?
So, Mayor, it's
if
not-
we're not gonna have your position, then we understand that we could take that. But if we have an economic development department, why would we get an outside people from the county that's getting money, taxpayer, for us to get $63,000 a year for what? Unless they're gonna tell us that we're gonna give you X number of jobs and this and this and that. Because when they came to me, I told them the same thing last year. I said, no, y'all need to be giving us money. Because we don't get nothing from the county, not from the surtax. In fact, we're going after them because they told us they were gonna give us some money from the TIF thing that they received. Other cities get that. So Beacon Council, their whole thing is economic development for the county and cities. So why would they be asking us 63,000? There's no organization that we belong to that we paid $1 per resident, whatever that formula is. I mean, it's really, it's not gonna
We
fly.
have
It's not
events
good.
that we spend over 500,000,
We
but
can
when
do
it
that.
comes, but when it comes to economic development and the possibility of inviting companies to come and
Madam
create
Vice
jobs
Mayor,
in our city. We
that's
have an
fine.
issue.
We would
But I
not
just
need that
wanna say-
department,
Yeah.
Economic Development Department, because how are we gonna explain to the resident, what is that, what are they there for?
Maybe we just have administration share the
That's
information.
what-
This
So,
is
ma'am,
everything.
that's not in this budget, but there
John,
is
if you
an
could just
item
have,
that's being worked
Mr.
on.
Lord-Fields,
That's gonna come before you,
if you
for
could
you to
just share with
review
us
it.
and we'll
Item-
continue moving along.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll share that information.
Please,
so you
but
can take
this
it.
dollar per resident thing that they do, you know,
So I'm super confused. Is there a line item in here?
No,
that I
there
missed?
is not.
No. Down? Okay, so
No, there is not.
So, okay, yeah. We're
It's
not gonna be,
coming.
we're not gonna be here all night. Let's let that discussion happen on the agenda that it's scheduled for in night.
okay.
Housing,
So,
and all-
communications, I think we mentioned communications.
yeah, we talked about the IT change.
Yes, is new, yeah, I think we mentioned they.
It was a
put away.
restructuring because of the
Restructuring,
IT
yeah.
staff that they took and they put back
I
in.
was trying to move fast. Housing and social service, but that's the S&B. The last few departments is risk.
These are all the special
The half
funds,
penny tax.
housing.
Yeah, we back here. So the half penny cell transportation, that's where, the freebie is from? We getting, okay.
Did we increase freebie cars or in this budget?
Yes, please. So I know that we have 2 cars. We applied for a grant to have 2 more. That's 4, right? Somebody answer that?
I thought we had more than, we only had 2?
We only had 2.
For the freebies?
Can somebody answer the freebie?
I don't have the information, but I can get it. I don't know who's
I
here.
think Jeff.
Jeff is here, okay.
Oh, it was under fleet.
Good evening, Jeff Geimer, Assistant Public Works Director. We currently have 4 freebies, and we are in receipt of a grant that's going to allow us to get another one, so we will have 5.
Just 1?
Yes, ma'am.
So the grant is just 1. So we currently have 4.
We currently have 4 operating, yes.
Maybe we can invite them to one of our future council meetings to do an update to see like what the demands are, you know, I'm sure they have all that.
Sure, and we can also do that internally because we have statistics from them on a monthly basis.
Oh, monthly, okay, yeah, please share
Right,
that.
because I've been told that sometimes the wait is like 2 hours, so it's obvious that we need to.
The average wait time is closer to 30 minutes.
30 minutes, okay.
Yes.
Now, I will disagree. It is more than that. I'm gonna tell you by experience. I used the freebie, I think, one time, and the second time I was at Enterprise Rent a Car, and just the app just keep on waffling, and then the driver just stopped by, had a friend washing cars over there, and has a few jokes, and then turn around and move on east on 123rd Street, and I was still there waiting, and I think if we can add some more to that, hopefully that will
It's an
help
average
out.
wait time over the 70 hours that the vehicle's operating. So it's, there's probably higher demand times as well. It's an average wait time.
But Mr. Geimer,
I agree
I'm
with
just
you.
giving
I'm
you
not-
real, you're giving me average time, I'm giving you real time.
Yeah.
And I'm not like making this up. And the second time I was at my house and waiting for 45 minutes, I said, you know what? This is too much, and I'm done. Never, I don't even have the app on my phone anymore. So I think if we have more, that would probably help, and then probably have a little conversation with the drivers to be more mindful of the street because they don't know who's looking. So that's my 2 cents into that freebie. So.
Anyone else? Good, okay. Thank you so very much, Mr. Geimer. And I think the next division is Public Works, but that's all of the various departments. Would that be enterprise? Okay,
Yes,
yeah, and those
so the
we don't
next
really-
department is risk, I think.
Yeah, so, no, with the enterprise, the 1 million on 3, what is that for the water main improvement? Page 351. This is with the enterprise.
351.
Yes, sir. Water distribution. It's just, these supplementals, would we get backup or what these are? Angela, blank CIPs?
These are some of the files that live on the M drive that we're working to recover.
Oh, okay. But do you know what is the $1 million for? In the water distribution, page 351.
Ah, okay. I like that one.
Yes, so this is, we have 200,000 in for design and future water main improvements for 800,000 for a total of 1 million.
So this is just proactive, just in case? No? Okay, no, I'm hearing, maybe Jeff, you want to help us out, or the director, somebody?
Yeah, what we've currently been doing, we've been working with a consultant to do some water main improvement projects, so that's what that money is allocated for.
Do we know what are the specific projects?
We
or-
can get that to you, Mayor, yeah.
Please, because that's $1 million for water, which is important, because we've been having some, we know we need a new plant, and that's one of our top priority, but if we see $1 million and we need two, so. okay.
Mayor, if I may,
Yes, sir.
on that $1 million, also I see on that line item is, I see replacing and maintain the water meters. I think last year we had that conversation about moving, replacing all the water meters. Would that be part of it? No?
No, that is not part of it.
Okay. And just to follow up on what Mayor just said, is any word that we are addressing the water plant?
So for the water plant, we still have pending directions. We had a bid that went out for rehab not too long ago. We received one bid for about 70 million. But also we have a consultant that's waiting to do some, a presentation with mayor and council regarding the future of the water plant.
Okay.
That's, Madam Manager, that's what we need to meet about, right? With our.
That is correct.
Oh, okay.
And I heard the number, I guess a number floating around for the real completion of the water plant. What is
No,
that?
the new one.
Yeah,
right?
like the
The
new
new
one.
one,
It's
yeah.
250, it's about
No?
250
like
It's
million.
several versions, and that's one of the things that the consultant want to show,
Yeah, because I'm
meet
hearing
with
somewhere
you all.
between 500 million to,
There's
No,
Yeah.
I haven't
several
heard no
different-
okay, guys, we going a little bit,
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
because
no, no,
there
no.
was, the original plan was to do what they had
Yeah,
since
yeah.
2012, but now they're saying that it may need two to accommodate all the future construction that we're getting, and that number is closer to, like, I heard $1 billion at one point. I
a
was
bit,
like,
no,
saying.
yeah.
I think it would be best if the consultants are able to educate the council with all of the data and all of the different scenarios, and so we will set that up. as
What
soon-
are we talking, this is for the new plant, so the consultant will be.
That's
the new
correct.
The
plant.
consultant, they will go through all of the options, whether it's a refurbished water plant or a new water plant.
not
They
getting-
will
no,
go
no, no,
through-
no,
No,
we-
I'm
we-
just saying,
okay.
they want to be able to educate
But-
you on all possible
But
options.
no, this is we're gonna fall back to where we are. This is what we had gotten prior to this, and this is why these conversations are important, where we know, they told me the number was 250. It was 100, then it was 150, then it was 250. So we did what we needed to do, and we actually got, the go-ahead from the EPA for a certain amount, because that's what we thought. So the fact that I'm hearing that the number maybe change, that's a problem. Because we had almost a year been working on this, and this is so vital to the city. It's like the top thing. We have Keystone the other day, the water, there was no water. I was at a
I'm
building
sorry, but
on
when are
San
these
Souci.
meetings being
You know?
scheduled? Do we know when?
We will schedule them as soon as possible.
Okay, but I think that's, like I said, Mayor, I know I heard a different number, so that's why we probably need to have the meeting, and then maybe even have it during the council meeting, so that the public can be aware as well.
It's hard to attach a number because there's different options to consider.
There
So-
isn't no different option. That's what I'm saying to you. We know we need a new plant, so.
Yeah, even
what's the
if
option?
it's a new plant, there's
Mhm.
still different
Different
options to
options.
consider.
Mhm.
Even if it's new, if you say you're going new,
Yeah.
there's still different new options to consider. That's the
Yeah.
reason why
Yeah.
it's important that we have that meeting so you guys can
I
sit
was
down and
under
have
the
a
With all of the
conversation.
approved new development coming online is what, there's
We-
addressing the previous
know.
need, now need, and then the future need. So, but like I said, we need to have that conversation, and when you do schedule those meetings, let us, you know,
Yeah,
it's a priority.
I would say that I am ready to have that conversation because, again, I've been on that issue since I came in here, that issue of the water plant. This is something that we cannot sleep on. What happened is that in the past, we did not get all the information. It's like, you know, you get this direction at one point, and then you have a totally different conversation next, and then it was basically not really anything set in stone. So what we need to do now is to schedule the meetings and sit with those experts and see exactly what we can afford, what that would be a best fit for the city, because with all these developments coming on, and now by my house, the water pressure is very, very low, extremely low. You know, taking a shower at 5 a.m, it is low, so meaning that that's a problem. That's something that we cannot sleep on. We cannot sleep on it. We need to have that conversation ASAP. And Madam Manager, I would truly, truly appreciate it if you schedule those meetings so that we can go on with that conversation, because that water plant cannot wait. It cannot wait.
Or a sunshine meeting.
It has to be a sunshine because.
So we can all
I
have it
put
together.
in too much work into this for now to hear of all these different options. That's very disappointing. When we know this is important, this was a priority. Anisha Daniel, before she left, that was her only job, to make sure that we were at the door to get what we needed, and we got confirmation from the Fed that said they will help us, and now we're going back saying that we don't even know if the number that we made. Okay, let me ask this question. Are we still in line with all these different things that's been happening with the federal administration, with the EPA? Have we meet any deadline for this money that we were supposed to get, or in changing?
It was an
the
invitation
actual-
to apply, wasn't it?
No,
Yeah.
yeah, but that's.
There's some
we needed.
requirements that we don't have to meet until March of next year.
Okay.
And that's why it's even more important that we meet sooner rather than later.
That's because I know, and the reason that I'm saying
And when do
that,
you all
sir-
apply?
So let me say, the reason this is so important, we are on the crust of a new election, and that has a lot of implications. So if you guys do not give me the accurate numbers, and I'm over there, I'm sorry,
That should have nothing to do with the election. Has to just do
Huh?
with priority. What does the water plant have to do with the election?
no, you didn't, okay, you guys, okay, probably went
So
over
we're
your
start-
head.
yeah, we're
Let
starting
me
to
saying
wander
it-
off the
No,
track,
what I'm
y'all.
saying is, you will have, it has a lot to do with it, because if you go, you get a new administration. So I don't know if whatever administration that we would get, if we do not have things come concrete, you know, if the letter to you know, whatever the amount is, so we just need to make sure we get commitments or whatever, because if things change and they were like, well, no, you know, so that's what when I said, you know, we have a presidential election that's coming, and we are talking about the federal government. So we got to know exactly, if the numbers are changed, we need to know, and it's important that, you know, and I say that because, Vice Mayor, what we went through to kind of get this one, it is very, very, it's serious. And I talked to other cities who went through the whole process, and New Orleans and many other cities. It's important. We just need to know, because they gave us the guideline, you know, how much to apply for based on what we thought we needed. So unless we get these things in place, hopefully, you know, this will be an administration. You know, there's all type of stuff we're hearing. The EPA may be gone, you know, with Project 2025. So we don't know. That's what I'm saying. We need to be mindful when we have an opportunity that I thought we were still under the 250.
I heard the 250 was just the taxes. Like,
I never-
it wasn't even scratches. That's what I was
So-
informed. It wasn't even
Guys,
scratching
yeah,
the
we're
surface.
clearly not going
but-
to read, this is a
yeah.
budget hearing, we're getting too deep into the weeds.
No, I understand, Councilman, we're moving along.
Oh, yeah,
but
and we have
this
public
is-
comment, so.
I'm just saying that this is vital, and
The meeting that the manager was referring to, you would have happened, the cyber incident delayed that.
okay. No,
So that's a
we
conversation
understand.
that.
We
okay.
understand. As long as we know, we just have to, you know, do what we do. to make sure. Okay, Public Works, this is the last one? I think we have Public Works.
Public Works?
No, we done.
It was
we can't
Rich
get
was the
into
last
that.
one.
I think building, can we change? I think we are done. What's the last, there was the last department. Where was it? Mr. Kenneth, which, did we?
City attorney.
Did we do that? Last, Mr. Kenneth, we did your department? We good? Because I don't recall.
Well, he saves us a lot of money.
Yes, we know. Risk management, did they change the name?
No, I think it's.
Or is it under city manager or that's something else? Safety program. So it's, okay, 381. Is that its own department, Madam Manager, or is it under you?
It's its own separate department.
Okay, that's another correction, Roy,
No,
because it has department
part.
city.
it's part of the city manager.
It's part of it? It shouldn't?
The city manager, the division is risk management.
Okay, so this is correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, you saved us some money, it's a negative, sir. We good. You see it?
I have a question for page 406, where are we? Oh, we're risk management. Are we still with risk
Yes, yes. No, we good. Thank you, Mr. Cannon.
Oh,
You save us some money, thank you.
I think we're good with you.
We
Thank you,
good.
sir.
Thank you, sir, thank you. Vice Mayor, you want to close it up? You good with 406?
Yeah, so, well, yeah, I have a question, page 406. It's the building fund, it says 309 city attorney. Could you explain why the dollars are there?
Yes, these are all inter-fund transfers that the building fund pays into the general fund for overhead shared services. So that specific line you're looking for is the services that our city attorney and his team provides. They pay a portion of that. And same for the others. For the annual financial audit, once we do the cost allocation, that's the amount that building would pay for the service, since our finance department, all the internal services are done in the general fund.
So I understand correctly, building pays the city attorney $252,000?
No, building pays the general fund $252,000 for city attorney services.
What page is that
Why
on?
so much? 406.
They pay the attorney, or the attorney pays them?
No, they pay the general fund for city attorney services. It's a formula that we use to kind of gauge. We do the same thing for stormwater and water and sewer, where they pay the general fund for overhead shared services that the general fund provides. This includes UB, IT, budget and finance, administrative departments, city manager services, mayor and council services.
Also, because the building is an enterprise fund, it can pay out certain
Yes.
percentages to cover services. Like, let's say if attorney is mitigating a permit or lien or whatever they're mitigating, they can pay for that cost. Okay,
And you'll see this in water and sewer and also in stormwater.
okay.
You good, Vice Mayor, on that one? Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Reyes. Thank you, staff. It's still 9:45, which was a good, considering,
Do we have to
us
open
going
the
through
public
it.
comment?
Yes, public hearing now is open. There's 2 mics to this before we vote on it.
This is on tab A and B?
Please, you have it.
Do we have to read each item again and vote?
No, I think we vote on everything.
Good evening. My name is Veronica Guzman, 540 Northwest 127th Street. I just wanted to say a few things. I agree with Councilman Charles. I think the public should have had a couple different scenarios to look at regarding the millage rate, 7.3, 7.4, even 7.5. I also think I attended one of the town hall meetings, and I think it was very vague, the information that was given to us. We weren't given the full amount until tonight. I think the public should have had a time to be able to look at this budget and be able to see. And we should have been included a little bit more on what we wanted to see in our district. I hope that you guys take that into consideration for next year. Thank you.
Indeed. Madam Manager, wasn't this posted online? Oh, with our problem.
No, it was posted.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Good evening. My name is David Galvez, and I reside at 531 Northeast 134th Street in District 3. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. I appreciate the opportunity to speak before you today regarding the preliminary fiscal year 24-25 budget. I urge you to reconsider a thorough review and with the aim of addressing discrepancies in calculations as well as identifying potential savings and promoting equity for the residents of North Miami. While these may be isolated incidents, I would like to draw your attention to specific concerns. On page 143, the Public Works Street Maintenance budget is overstated by approximately $8,000, and on page 148, the CCIP Clean Team budget is overstated by $600. These discrepancies, though seemingly minor compared to the total operating budget, undermine confidence in the overall accuracy and integrity of the budget. Furthermore, I fully support the allocations of $10,000 to the NOMI Haitian Chamber of Commerce and $15,000 to the Association of Haitian Educators of Dade, as noted on page 246. However, I am troubled by the justification for a $10,000 donation to the National Haitian American Elected Officials Network, an organization based out of Orlando, Florida, as referenced on page 4 of the preliminary budget. I believe this allocation does not represent a responsible use of taxpayer dollars, and it is also essential to consider the equitable distribution of these funds. There are numerous local initiatives, including women's empowerment groups, youth programs, or even enhancements to the city's IT security and infrastructure that can benefit from these dollars. Therefore, I strongly encourage you to reprioritize funding supporting our immediate local organizations and initiatives. While I acknowledge that I have not had the opportunity to conduct a comprehensive analysis of the entire preliminary budget, I appreciate and thank you for your time and consideration on these important matters.
Thank you, sir. What that page, you said the discrepancy of 600,000?
So on page 143, the Public Works Street Maintenance budget is overstated. What I was doing is adding up each line item, pretty much converting it. And when you do the calculation of adding those line items, the sum of those there's a variance between that and what's actually presented in the budget as the roll-up sum. So just for consideration.
This is on page 143.
So 143 has the Public Works team, and then on 148 for the CCIP Clean Team budget.
So their budget, and you don't have the title number of 140. Ms. Reyes, do we know what he's referenced to?
No, they didn't.
No. Okay. All right, thank you, sir. It's noted. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Eileen Bicaba, 13350 Northeast 3rd Court. I wanted to ask about, I agree with the previous speaker about having stuff be more local. We see a lot of our money being given to organizations that are not even in the city. Some of it are related to contracts with contractors and new development. I am concerned about the police and the fact that there are 29, there's currently a shortage based on the previous presentation of 29 police officers. We also have a lot of new development coming online, and I'd like to know how many police officers are needed for the new residents of those new developments. For example, the Gardens just came online with 800 new residents, and that will need 2 new police officers just for that one building. And we've got a lot more in line. It's not just police officers, it's just about every part of our city and the infrastructure that's needed. I believe I heard 200,000 for the traffic, for implementing the traffic calming. Phase 1, my understanding was gonna be around 5 million. And that means that's a tremendous shortfall in even implementing that after doing all the study and everything for it. All these things being delayed is causing an increase in cost in us taxpayers more in the future. There are a lot of places that this can be cut from. I see a lot of our money being used wastefully. People traveling, for example, to Ireland. I do not understand what Ireland has to do with District 3. We need for our money to be spent on the things in our area. In terms of the Beacon Council that I heard earlier, I do think that we need to spend our money on doing our local. I cannot see spending that money. All right, we have to be able to spend our money on things here.
Thank you so much. Maribel, this mic.
Hi there. My name is Marisol Medina. I live at 1270 Northeast 124th Street. The one that I want to make mention to, on top of the many things that were already mentioned, is, I guess it would be on a bunch of the different description sheets, is number 315, which speaks about the allowances for your vehicles and the allowances for your phones and expenses. Now, I know in the past, when you guys were making around $30,000, this was something that they gave to you guys to help, because as a person that makes $30,000, on the top of that, having to come to these meetings and pay for these things of your own pocket when it comes to your phone and your vehicle. But now you guys make more than double what was once your salary. So I don't understand why $750 per council member, except I think one member, I think Mary has $250 in her allowance, is still an allotted amount. That's $9,000 per council member. That seems a little excessive to me, but I do drive a Hyundai. Also, I do think that I would like to know what the profits come with the NOMI Fest, because I know that the tickets go out there, and I know there's always these discounts that we get and everything, but I don't know if the pool is big enough to us subsidize this event happening every year. I don't know, maybe I could do, eventually when we get back online, to ask for a public request for that information. Let me see if I mentioned anybody else. Okay, the line again for 315, $200 a month for a cell phone, and $175 for the city administration, that's the manager and the deputy manager, when most people in the city pay $150.
Thank you so much. Good night. Anyone else? Awesome, thank you. Public hearing is closed. Thank you, members of the public. Madam Clerk.
Motion to approve tab A.
Second.
An ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, adopting and approving the budget of the city of North Miami for fiscal year commencing October 1, 2024 and ending September 30, 2025. Authorizing the amount to be raised by taxation for the operation of the city for the 2024-2025 fiscal year, authorizing the expenditure of funds established by the budget, authorizing a return on investment transfer from the water and sewer utility fund to the general fund, authorizing the interim city manager to implement budget amendments, revenue or expenditure, to appropriate or unappropriate funds as required during the fiscal year, and to amend the prior fiscal year budget to facilitate the year-end closing process, providing for appeal, severability, and an effective date. I have a motion made by the Vice Mayor to approve the item at tab B. The motion was seconded by the Mayor. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The item passes with a 4-0 vote.
Motion to approve.
Tab C, a proposed ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, authorized.
B. Yeah, we just did
Yeah.
A, the mills.
And all of those, I'm sorry, Mr. Attorney, these were already read into the record, right? Earlier on, they were read into the record, so.
I believe so.
Yeah, they were. So a motion to approve tab B?
No,
Is there a second?
that was tab B.
She read tab A,
We just did tab A, the mills at 7.4.
right, and that passed. So
I read
now-
into the record tab B. We had an entire discussion. I received a motion and a second, and so I reread tab B because it wasn't specified that it was for tab A. So we were on tab B.
Can we restate? We have to do tab A before we do anything else. If we don't do tab A, everything else is superfluous.
I actually said move a motion to approve tab A. I did say that.
I thought I heard that.
Now I have a
did.
question.
So,
Well, if you're not- when people don't speak into the mic,
I'm
it's hard to
sorry, one
hear.
second, please, I'm speaking. So tab A, there was a motion to approve tab A, it was seconded by the mayor. Was that already read into the record, yes or no? Madam Clerk, was that
resolution
read-
of the mayor and
Madam
ci-
Clerk, was that read into the record already? Tab A, was tab A read into the record already?
It was, and I need to
Okay.
reread it
No,
as I
thank
take
you.
this
If it was
motion.
already read, we don't need it to be reread, we already voted on it. So now a motion to approve tab B.
No, tab. tab A, I've not, I need
Mr.
clarification, Vice Mayor, if I may.
Sure, go ahead.
I need clarification on the proposition that I made for them to look at the
thought we said we'd do that
scenarios for us to
At the second
lower
meeting.
the, so at the second hearing?
Correct. Remember,
Okay.
we can go down and not up.
Okay then.
Okay, so we move on for tab A. So tab B, was tab B read into the record?
Excuse me, I actually need to go back and actually make sure that it's clear on the record. And I would like an opportunity to do that.
You would like an opportunity to clear what on the record?
I need to read it into the record and then take the vote, because I had read tab B before we did the presentation.
Okay, so.
And so if we're going in order, I'd like an opportunity to read this into the record.
So you're saying that tab A was never read into the record, is that what you're saying?
It's not that, it's to ensure that for clarity of the record, for whoever's watching this, for the county who's paying attention to this, to be sure of what they heard, so that when the clerks are taking the minutes, to make sure that it's very clear. So that's why I'm asking to reread this into the record.
Okay, just
I
give
know
me a-
for it's, procedure is not favored, but I really like an opportunity to do that.
And just 1 minute, please. Mr. Attorney, it was read into the record, does it need to be read again? Yes or no?
Which item are we reading?
Tab A.
Was
It was
read?
already read into the record, so it doesn't need to be read again. So, so tab A was already read into the record. Mr. Mayor, I need your help, please. Tab A was read into the record already. I asked for motion to do tab A, you second tab A. I'm asking for it not to be read. We all voted, it was a 4-0 vote, so I guess you need to record your vote so we can go on to tab B.
So what's the question?
Thank
What's
you.
the-
A resolution of the mayor and city
No, that-
council.
Hold on, Madam Clerk, I'm just trying to, I just want.
I'm trying to just read it
Can we,
for
Madam
clarity.
Vice Mayor, can we play personal privilege? Allow her to read it, it'll take 13 seconds, we'll vote, we'll move on.
A resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, adopting a tentative millage rate of 7.4000 mils for fiscal year 2024-2025, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Estime Irvin to approve the item at tab A. The motion was seconded by Mayor Desilme. All in favor?
Aye.
Item passes with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor.
A motion to approve tab B.
An ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, adopting and I still need to read it into the record right before I call the vote. An ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, adopting and approving the budget of the city of North Miami for fiscal year commencing October 1, 2024, and ending September 30, 2025. Authorizing the amount to be raised by taxation for the operation of the city for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Authorizing the expenditure of funds established by the budget, authorizing a return on investment transfer from the Water and Sewer Utility Fund to the General Fund, authorizing the interim city manager to implement budget amendments, revenue and/or expenditure to appropriate or unappropriate funds as required during the fiscal year, and to amend prior fiscal year budget to facilitate the year-end closing process, providing for appeal severability and an effective date.
Second.
I have a motion made by Mayor Desilme to approve the item at tab B. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Timothy. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item passes with a 5-0 vote. Permission to read tab C?
Mayor.
Thank you. A proposed ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the interim city manager to make adjustments to the minimum fund allocation amount in the reserve fund account as part of the city's fiscal year budget process pursuant to section 2-2 of the city code, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab C.
So wait a minute, tab C. Let's talk about tab C, because I didn't know that was a problem. So this is, we are voting to give the manager, Mr. Attorney, now we will need you to explain this to us.
We do this every year, Mayor. This is the
I know.
This is the $5 million. They're saying that, I guess they're not doing $5 million this year, so
We're
you're
not.
authorizing them to make a lesser amount for the
What,
reserve.
okay, I want to be very clear on, on this, Madam Manager, this is important. So this is giving you, so you stated on record, Madam Reyes, that we are putting into 2.7. Well, I see on the book, she did say 2.9, but I see 2.7, so which one is it?
It's 2.9.
2.9, okay.
In the book.
In the reserve.
Proposed. proposed.
No, I know. Maybe I was looking at another reserve towards the back that says 2.7. Okay, so that 2.9, it's supposed to be 5 million. So this resolution, I just want to make sure we get it. This is not to use the money that's already there, the 5 million, that's a little bit more than 5 million. This is just to waive the other.
The other 5 million
additional-
that we're supposed to put this
Well,
year.
the other 2.1?
Correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure on record, that's what we're doing. I totally support that. And
So move.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Charles to approve the item at tab C. The motion was seconded by Vice Mayor Estimate Irvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The item passes with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you
Move
you
to
all.
adjourn.
Good night.
I have a motion to adjourn made by Councilman Galvin,
Second.
seconded by Councilman Charles. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote. It is now 10:02 p.m.